Yes, 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 it is the Castworthy podcast, and we are back. It's Sunday, October 8th. I'm Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the X Machine, joined by EJ Stewart and the VP of Research. And it's a beautiful Sunday. Nice and cool here, crisp 66 degrees here in Orlando, Florida. You guys getting cool weather up there in Baltimore yet, EJ?
Oh, it's cold. It's coldish. It's coldish. Definitely hoodie season.
Pumpkin picking, taking single moms and shit like that with you?
Yeah, pretty much. Um, yeah, yesterday it was like a monsoon type, windy rain type going on yesterday. I was at a youth football game in shorts and a jersey, and
Did they let the kids play in that?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Cheerleaders cheered, and it was just you had to brave it out.
That's surprising, man, for the way our society is these days. VP, what's up with you?
Uh,
Chilly, crisp side over there on in your area. You guys
yeah,
open the doors, windows.
pretty much, man. It's nice and nice and cool. I mean, it's the time of year I love, man. I mean, I love the weather in Florida. Given that you can wear shorts all year, but sometimes that heat, man, it's fucking overbearing. So, this time
Hmm.
of year when it kind of cools, that's still warm enough for shorts. You know what I mean? But like, it's cool enough to where you don't have to carry around a fucking a camelback to have water on you all the time. I definitely love that time of year.
The white towels in the back pocket.
Right.
Sweat rag.
Hmm.
Yeah, we definitely needed a break because it's been super hot this year.
Yeah.
Fucking all these 100 degrees days. But yeah, it's been pretty nice. And yeah, so a lot going on. I saw you guys dicky in a lot last week. On last week's pod. Tons of that. Tons of that. That was interesting. Um, but I don't know if we need to dwell on that dick eating that took place. This week though, we could
Hey,
start
Steve,
off. Yeah.
real quick before you get into it, yo, let me give a shout out to my man TJ. He had a tournament yesterday. This wasn't like a win for like cash or anything like that. It was actually a qualifier for the big national tournament. I think they're going to be in Detroit next year. Um, uh, it was they was taking the top seven boys. He finished in third, so he's qualified for the national
Nice.
right now. So
Where was the tournament?
it was over in Ormond Beach, like an hour away from here.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to
He drove
TJ.
himself.
Yeah, I went with him. We all went. So
Oh,
it was
he didn't catch that.
what he said.
He said he drove himself.
Yeah, he drove himself.
Oh,
yeah,
he's driving.
yeah, he
Yeah, he
does
drives
this.
now.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, he drove. We were there with him, but he drove. We went over there. On the way back, we actually stopped at they got a fucking Bucky's over there. I've seen like people talk about it
Mm.
online and like YouTube and stuff, but I had never been to one. We pulled up. Even this shit is, what Bucky's is, EJ.
No.
So you ever been to a Wawa?
Yeah.
So imagine a Wawa gas station, but like on the level of like a super Walmart. So
Mhm.
it's a huge gas station, and then inside they serve food, they sell clothes, they make
Mhm.
their own stuff. So like a bunch of like Bucky's branded stuff, whether it's the clothes, the food, snacks. Like almost. I mean, they sell other people's stuff too. Like you get a bag of Doritos or whatever, but like they sell their own snacks that they make or whatever. You know what I mean? And like I got some lemon pepper beef jerky, but it's like jerky that they make. It ain't like Jack Links or whatever. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was huge, man. The parking lot is like packed like a grocery store. People, they literally have shopping carts when you go in there, and it's a fucking gas station. So,
Yeah. It started out in Texas. It
yeah,
is
yeah,
big pause. And usually they have like 100 fucking gas fucking, what do they
yeah.
call those?
The little pumps.
Pumps, yeah.
They had
So
two
they
rows of them shits.
that's how big that shit is, yo.
Yeah, they had
Um
two rows of pump. They had two rows of like the double pumps, and it was like, I would say it was probably like 20 pumps across. So they had, it was like 80 gas pumps there.
mhm. Yeah, that's just for size purposes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? The shit's huge. The rednecks live by it. If you ask anybody from Texas or that I-10 fucking corridor and people here in Florida now, I'll forget about it. It's
yeah.
uh it's it's like it's like what.
It's White Castle to somebody from the Bronx.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. TJ
I was
got
gonna
a
say it's Black Friday for rednecks, but it's every day.
TJ got a chicken sandwich from there. He was like, "Man, this is one of the best chicken sandwiches I ever had." So he said it was pretty good. So, and
A
TJ
lot of
don't,
people
he don't like food, so he'll shit on food in a minute. So
a lot of people swear by their food, their fucking snacks that they make. I haven't made a voyage there, but I want to. There's one not too far from us. It's probably like 30 minutes up the road on close to Daytona that
yeah, that's
way.
the one we
Maybe a
went
little
to.
more.
That's the
Oh,
one
okay.
we went to.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. And they're building another one up close to Ocala as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But shout out to TJ, man. Good for him. Hopefully he continues on that path. I know he's got like 2 more years before college, right?
No,
This year's junior year, right? This year, next
no,
year.
he's senior this year.
Oh, he's a senior. Okay,
Wow.
Yeah, this is it.
there you go. So he's got this year, then next year, and well, next year he'll be there. So hopefully it all pans out, man. The scholarship money,
And
and
Steve, I don't
they
know if you
get
remember.
blessed.
I don't know if you remember Pam, who y'all used to bowl with.
Hmm.
Her daughter bowls now. I don't know if I told you, but in the junior gold, the big national tournament that they when they went to
Hmm.
Indianapolis over the summer, she actually won that in her division for
Really?
the U15 girls. She won, so she's the junior gold national champion for girls under 15. And then she was here at this tournament too, and she finished first place for the qualifier to go back to defend her championship. And the shit that was so crazy was like they were in that division. They were only taking two girls. Pam's daughter finished in first. She bowled a nine. Or she bowled like a 940 something set, and the girl who finished second bowled like a fucking 810. So that's how big the gap was.
Yeah, that's significant, man.
Yeah,
But that Pam's daughter been coming to the bowling alley since forever.
yeah.
TJ too. So that's
Hmm.
all they know. That's all they know. That's what's up. Good shit for
Yeah.
them. Good shit for them. Um, Before we get started, I'll probably have some really raw shit to say about it. But before I get into the raw shit, I'll say send best wishes to Israel. And on their stand, from their standpoint, obviously we hope for the best for all those that are innocent. We hope they stay safe. And it's already been said by Biden that they have our support. So that means there's probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 billion that'll be sent over there. Meanwhile, our homeless rate continues to grow. But it's okay. It's signs of a good economy.
Oh God.
Go, Joe.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got to
that
float,
is
Joe.
that is crazy. Loss of life and war, acts of war in 2023 is definitely crazy and not what we need and not what we want. Um, I don't know how much the United States is going to get involved, but I do agree at some point we need to take care here and get things done. And that's always been my feeling, but I understand our position in the world, especially Israel, with money we've given them over the years. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get involved like militarily, you know what I mean? But we're already involved. We give them a bunch of money to help them with their defense. The anti like missile defense system that they have, I think it's called like the Iron Dome or something like that. Like we gave them that. Um, um, so yeah, it's this situation with Israel and the Palestinians has always it's always been tough, like that's why peace in the Middle East has been such a big thing. um you know and I don't see it getting better anytime soon, man. So definitely wish those folks the best over there.
As I watch this, not to change the subject, we'll come back to it, but I'm watching the Jacksonville Buffalo game. Jacksonville is now up 8-0. Zay Jones caught the first touchdown. I'm very upset because I picked up Zay Jones in one of my leagues and forgot to start him. Planned on starting him. I picked him up last night before I fell asleep on the couch, and I forgot to put him in. So that really frustrates me. But yeah,
That was me last week.
Yeah, and I left DJ Moore on the bench in another league, so that's great.
Ooh.
49 points.
Ugh.
Right.
Yeah, like
right.
1,000-yard game or something.
Yeah, pretty big pause. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot going on over there. Obviously, we hope that the individuals are safe, right? We hope everything pans out the way people expect it or want it to, right? But aside from that, kind of going into just overall before we get started on other stuff, some things happened this week, right? The House Speaker got
Got ousted.
voted out or ousted,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah. Right now the US Congress is essentially shut down because of the way that the House of Representatives work. No legislation can move through the House until there's a speaker, because the speaker is who gives permission to move anything through the Congress. So basically everything in the House of Representatives right now is on pause. There's no committee hearings, there's no budget bills that are going to be passed or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Um, and essentially what happened is that Representative Matt Gaetz from Florida, he filed what's called a motion to vacate the chair. Think of it kind of like as a vote of no confidence. They probably call it in other governmental systems. And McCarthy didn't get the amount of votes needed to survive, and so he was kicked out of the speakership. He's no longer Speaker of the House. It was Matt Gaetz along with 7 other Republicans, so a total of 8 Republicans, and all the Democrats who voted together to kick McCarthy out. And the writing was on the wall from the day that McCarthy became Speaker, because back in the day, to file a motion to vacate, you needed roughly 20 members of the House to vote with you in order to get this thing on the floor for an actual vote. That threshold was lowered in the in the late part of the Obama years to 15. And then during that whole negotiation, remember when the Republicans first took over and they had to have 3 days of voting, 15 ballots for McCarthy to even become Speaker. They negotiated with him. Okay, we'll give you the votes if you lower the motion to vacate down to 1. He agreed to it and essentially signed his own death warrant at that point, because now 1 member can vote to oust you, and that was going to be held over his head as like a hostage situation, because it's like, okay, you're negotiating with Biden on the budget. We're gonna file a motion to vacate the chair. You cut this deal with the Democrats to do X. We're gonna file a motion to vacate. You didn't give us impeachment. Motion to vacate. You're not giving us enough leeway to do all this Hunter Biden bullshit. Motion to vacate. You see what I'm saying? So
He's a senator, right?
No, they're congressmen, representatives.
He's a congressman. Okay.
Yeah. So, he set himself up from the beginning. And I think I told you guys this before when they were negotiating the debt ceiling. I felt like during that time, Republicans were going to fuck around, and they knew we're going to have enough responsible people people in our party,
Mhm.
40, 50 people, and then we'll get all the Democrats because they're gonna do the responsible thing and raise the debt ceiling, and then it's gonna be all good, So we get to have our cake and eat it too, where we get to shit on the debt ceiling, we get to show our voters we're fighting to not raise the debt ceiling, and then we still raise it because that's what we need to do to make sure the country doesn't go into economic turmoil, right? And that's what happened. You know what I mean? And um I think he thought that same thing was going to happen here. Is that Democrats are institutionalists, right? And so Matt Gaetz is going to file this thing. The most of the Republicans are going to vote with me to not kick me out, and then all the Democrats will also vote to not upset the apple cart or whatever, and then I'll be okay. And that's not what happened. And the last thing I'll say on this, the reason why the Democrats voted to vacate the chair is because McCarthy can't be trusted. He broke his word with them, and there's no trust there. So the Democratic folks were pissed off because of after January 6th, McCarthy got with them and said Trump's at fault. This is bullshit. Da 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 da. He went on the House floor, blamed Trump. 2 weeks later, he's at Mar-a-Lago kissing Trump's ass, and then he's gone full MAGA since then. Then after he gets the speakership, when the debt ceiling deal came up, they made a deal with him on impeachment that if they were going to bring up impeachment of Joe Biden for reasons, that they would put it to a vote to launch an impeachment inquiry. McCarthy, they did that because they know he don't got the votes for impeachment. The Republicans, even though you hear about it in the news all the time, they're really not there on that. It's just the extremists. You know what I mean? So when they launched this impeachment bullshit, he didn't put it up for a vote. He basically just started it unilaterally. And so that pissed Democrats off because he broke his word. They gave him the votes for the debt ceiling, and then he didn't do the impeachment thing he promised. Fast forward to the government shutdown that we almost just went through. And um, um, the same thing happened. The Chaos Caucus wouldn't, fund the government. So you had enough sane Republicans and all the Democrats vote to do this 45-day government spending thing to keep the government open. And they passed the bill on Saturday, right? And then McCarthy goes on CBS News on Sunday morning, a show called Face the Nation. And when they ask him about the government shutdown, he says, the government almost shut down because Democrats. They're fucking socialists. They suck. They don't love their kids. Whoop, 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 or whatever. And they were like, okay, we're fucking done with this guy. And when the motion to vacate came up, they were like, we're not saving you, dog.
Mm. Good for him. Fuck it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, so he's out. So what happens next? So right now they got nothing going on. There's no Speaker of the House at the moment. They're working on. I saw something about them suggesting. There was like that foolery about suggesting Trump, but let's be realistic.
Yeah. So the House is out of session for a week. Basically, is so that way the Republicans can have a conference meeting to
What
decide
else is new?
who.
These niggas ain't never at work. They get paid. They ain't never working.
Right. So they're gonna have like conference meetings so that way they can start voting and decide on who they want to formally nominate to be speaker. So far, the only candidates who have formally announced that they want to run for speaker is Representative Jim Jordan from he's an Ohio congressman. He's also been credibly accused of covering up sexual abuse of his wrestlers while he was the wrestling coach at Ohio State. So
Oh,
he's your first candidate. And then
perfect.
the second candidate is Congressman Steve Scalise of Louisiana, who is essentially a unabashed white nationalist. When he was running for Congress in the early 2000s, the pitch that he made to Republicans in Louisiana is, quote, I'm like David Duke without the baggage, unquote. So those are your two candidates for the speakership of the House of Representatives so far.
Well, at
So
least he's without the baggage, right?
yeah,
Huh?
and so
Hey?
with that, and with
At
with
least
the
he doesn't have the
two
baggage.
potential candidates in that regard, was it really? I mean, because McCarthy was who he was, but we're gonna get. You mean David Duke or Bill Duke?
David
Am
Duke,
I
the
thinking the wrong
the
David
the,
Duke,
the Grand Wizard of the
Klansman?
KKK.
Right. So yeah, I mean, is it gonna be? Is that a good trade off here, where we got a dude covering up molestation, and then the next Grand Wizard of the Klan?
I mean, you know, I would argue probably not, right? But we also got to see how this thing plays out, right? Because there are 15 Republicans who are in districts that Joe Biden won, right, in 2020. And those districts also have gotten bluer because of reapportionment after the census and the new congressional maps got drawn. So it's very likely that those people will lose. For the ones who are in districts that aren't like super, that got more blue, that can still kind of are swing districts, they want to keep their seats. And so you have Democrats who are reaching out to those 15 or so Republicans saying, hey, you could vote with us and elect Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, as speaker. The Republicans still are going to be in charge because they got the majority. It's just that you'll have a speaker who's a Democrat. That's not going to happen. It's a pipe dream, right? But they're at least having a conversation. But what they're also saying, if you can't go there where you vote for a Democrat to be speaker, we'll help you elect a moderate Republican. Because remember, a moderate Republican, somebody like Tom Cole, who's a Republican from Oklahoma. I don't like that guy, but he's more moderate than a Jim Jordan or Steve Scalise. He's seen as like sensible. He wants to make deals and get shit done or whatever, right? So you have somebody like that who they could say we can help you get behind. Also, in the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House actually doesn't have to be a member of Congress. It can be anybody in the country. All they have to do is just get the votes. So that's how you keep seeing this shit about Trump coming up or whatever, right? So they could also tell them, if you want to bring somebody from outside of Congress who is moderate, we can help you vote there, because really we just seen 8 Republicans take out the speaker. So why can't the 15 of you put in a speaker along to help with us helping you? You know what I mean? And so those talks are happening right now. This thing is still kind of fresh, it's still kind of moving, but we haven't seen moderates flex their muscles in a way like that. So I doubt that this happens, but the conversations are at least being had. So we'll see. But I get your point, EJ. So I would say watch this space, but we'll see.
So you said deals being made. Would it be similar to conspiracy deals the conspiracy that there was a deal made to kick out Venezuelans if the debt ceiling was raised or
Yeah, I
extended,
mean,
rather?
there's always stuff like that. So who knows, right? Because sometimes what happens in politics, especially because most people, I talk about this all the time. Most people don't pay attention to politics, right? So things happen, and it's easy for you to take information that's somewhat true and then twist it to make it fit a narrative you're trying to make, right? Example, this week you've seen a lot of news. You've probably seen it on your own timeline on social media and stuff about Joe Biden continuing to build Trump's stupid ass wall between the United States and Mexico, right? Now, the reason that that's happening is that in 2019 the Congress passed money. They appropriated the money for that construction. It's now time for that money to be spent based on the congressional bill that was passed in 2019. Joe Biden asked the Congress to reappropriate that money and send it somewhere else because he doesn't want to do this shit. The Congress said no. So he can either break the law and not build the wall, right? Or let this money be spent for what Congress appropriated to be spent for. You know what I mean? So this is a guy who to whether we like it or not, he prides himself on following the rule of law, and his whole candidacy was based on the rule of law since everything that happened with Trump. So he's saying Congress passed this bill, I gotta abide by it. You know what I mean?
This nigga's soft.
But
Joe Biden is soft, man. They need to get somebody in there that got some balls. Like this dude is weak, man. He get pushed around. Like I get it, you're old. Like it's almost like he's a Democrat only in label. Like this dude, I mean, I get it. He follows the rules like Democrats do, but at some point you gotta have like you talk this big shit, and at what point you just say, you know what, fuck it, no, we just not gonna build the wall then, and that money just gonna sit there. Like we have other shit that it could be spent
That's
on.
what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Shit gets appropriated all the time and it doesn't happen
right,
without
but
consequence.
what they are looking at it, and again, I get what you guys are saying, right? Because we're just citizens. You know what I mean? We're just regular citizens who are looking at wins and losses. Did you put something on the board or didn't you? You know what I mean? And what they would argue from a DC standpoint is that the Congress appropriated money, about $45 billion or so, to go to Ukraine to help it with fighting against Russia. This was before the war started, back when Trump was still president. Trump held that money and told the Ukrainians, "We'll give it to you if you give us dirt on Biden," when they were trying to manufacture dirt on Biden so that way they can use it to run against them or whatever. And the Democrats in the House impeached Trump for that. You know what I mean? And so if we're saying that he should have been impeached for not following the law, using this congressionally appropriated money for what it was appropriated for, and then not only not using it, but using it as trying to use it as a bribe, essentially, right? You know what I mean?
That's the
We
main
can't have it
reason.
both ways,
That's the main reason.
But that's the big difference. That's a difference
big
between
difference. That's a major difference.
There's a difference. No doubt. I'm just making the point though.
That's just like I said, man. I've said this multiple times. I said this since Biden got in office, and don't get me wrong. Like, I voted for him. I supported him because I thought he was the only way away from Trump. But I feel like everything he does is to be in the history books. I don't think he does anything with the true intent. Let me not say that. Let me take it back. I don't want to say anything. Anything's a big word. I would say that the majority of the stuff that he could do to make some significant changes or differences, and I get it, like,
he's not bold.
It's gonna look bad. He's not bold. He's not bold at all. And he just plays by the rules. He's just there. And if he sees the opportunity, hey, guess what? Black lady, she's here. Got another black lady. I'm doing all this for the blacks. Black, black, black. I'm blackity black, black. Like, I'm eating fucking mac and cheese. Look at me, mac and cheese, mac and cheese. I could ride a bike at 82. Look at me, ride a bike. Like, all this shit is shit that, like, I get it, man. I get it. You're an old guy. You're in office, and you're probably just riding it out. But, like, come on, man. I need more. I need more for America. Like, Ukraine gets in trouble. Hey, Ukraine, here's some money. Here's some more money. Here's some more money. Israel, hey, you got our back end. Guaranteed there's gonna be a shit. What's the over under? Let's talk about some bets, EJ. You think it's over or under 10 billion that goes to Israel?
I'd say over 5 for sure. Yeah,
it's more than that. We already give them $10 billion annually to help with their defense. That's already. This was before the war started.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's been that way for what, 20 plus years or more.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
it's
10
just,
billion. Again, go ahead.
No, it's just again, this is what makes the average person that doesn't subscribe to the politics as usual. This is what makes the average people non-believers of this whole system. You got Americans that are telling you, I tried to go for this American dream. I wasn't educated. Yes, my bad. I fucked up. Yes, I have student loan debt that I cannot get out of. But everything logistically and scientifically and metrics wise tells you that if you invest in your people and you say, you know what, I'm going to forgive you this time, and there's going to be fail safes put in place, and even statistically, many of these people that are in these situations aren't going to go pursuing another degree of higher education. They've already got it. They've already understood that this thing doesn't really work the way it was built to do. I just need some relief. I'm a working American that pays my taxes. All crazy. Ukrainians are not paying us taxes. They're not paying tax. They're getting this money. Israel is not paying tax. But you got the average working American, no matter what their salary is, they're living check to check. Living check to check. And you would just, to Steve's point, be bold, bail your people out, show us some faith, do something. And it's just politics as usual. And this is why you get those crazy cynics outside of the ones that just want to be anarchists and just want to be whatever they want to be. But those middle of the road people that just say, you know what, fuck this shit. It doesn't work. It's not real. It's like watching a big telenovela every week.
Yeah, and I agree with you, EJ. I don't think that you guys are wrong in what you're saying. I think it's just because I'm plugged in a little bit more politically. Like in my mind, it's like I get it, but I also get it from your point of view as well, right? And you guys know I've been on the record that I wasn't for the student loan forgiveness thing, with the exception of the consequence of the student loan forgiveness, just because it was a way to activate voters and that kind of thing like that,
Mhm.
right? But I think you can be bold, right? Like EJ says, there's data that just shows the proof that when you invest in your people, every $1 invested in your own people, you probably get back $4, $5, $6 in return. You know what I mean? I don't know what those numbers are, but I know that those kind of studies and statistics exist, and you can do that kind of stuff even around student loan forgiveness, right? But instead of just doing it straight up, right, why not make it service oriented? You know what I mean? And so if we're going to do student loan forgiveness, but you got to give something back to the country, right? Whether it's, you got to do 4 years in the military, you got to do some
We have
time in
that.
the Peace
We
Corps,
kind of
you
have
got
that.
to work. No, I know we have that now, but what I'm saying is that they have this shit to where it's like if you work for the government or you do some kind of thing like that, you
If
got
you
to do
work
it for 10
civil
years.
servant 10 years and you got to be
That's
paying
too
a certain
long.
percentage, and
That's too
I'm
long.
mad as shit. I'm mad as shit. I didn't get on that 10 years ago. But to your point, right? I get your point about the service piece. Let's just say, okay, you had to be a registered voter. I mean, but then again, okay, I'm paying fucking taxes, right? And then when you
Right.
look at this nation and all of the money that we're just shelling out somewhere else for someone else's problem, that they won't even take care of the people that are within their own borders when they were up, when they were
Right.
doing right. It just doesn't. And to say you understand it, right? It's almost like you have to condition your mind to live within two parallels. One is I know it's business as usual, and the other is just opposite of sanity. Like we're giving Israel $10 billion per year for the last 20 plus years,
Mhm.
and nothing comes back to us other
That's
than
like going
military
going
spending.
and paying your neighbor's mortgage while your mom ain't got your mom is fucking behind. You know what I'm saying? Your mom is
Yeah.
upside down in her mortgage, but you paying your neighbor because you want to, or you're paying for your neighbor to get their grass done and not
Not
helping
even
your
your
mom out
neighbor,
because
not
it
even your
keeps.
neighbor. Some distant cousin you didn't even verify as your real family that lives in Oklahoma, and I live in
Yeah,
Baltimore.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
To
what I
keep
what I was
property
getting ready to
value.
say, what I was getting ready to say, EJ, though, is that it kind of in line with things that you've talked about in the past, like going just beyond like government jobs, which is the way they have it now. You join the military, you're a teacher, you're in some kind of public service like a firefighter or something like that. You can have these loans forgiven if you've up to date on your payments after 10 years or whatever. One, you have to apply for that. It should be automatic. But two, um they should extend it to make it for just service, right? And instead of like you got to join the military, you got to join the Peace Corps where you got to travel overseas and shit like that. Like, why not allow people to serve in their own communities? Like the things that we've talked about on this podcast, like when there's stuff like when we talk about the causes or potential causes of some of these mass shootings, or these kids who don't have real mentors or people to look up to, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? You could put these people who are college educated, who are trying to do their thing, trying to change their family tree, et cetera, and put them in young people's lives to say, this is what I did, this is how I got there, I'm going to help you, get to where I did, and keep you motivated and keep you accountable, shit like that. And then you allow them to tie that service into some kind of financial relief on the student loan side. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
everybody's not going to join the military, and just to use you for a minute, Steve. Not talking shit. I'm just being real, right? You got a kid in the family. You're not joining the Peace Corps. You're not trying to go to fucking wherever for 2 years to do whatever the Peace Corps does, right?
No, I'd
You're
rather
too
just
old
not
for
pay my fucking student loans.
Right. You're too old for the military at this point. Even if you weren't too old at this point, you're a big guy. So you wouldn't meet the weight standard. You know what I mean? So like all of these options for you to be eligible for that kind of relief through service, those are cut off to you. You know what I mean? But well, you probably wouldn't do it. But if there was like a mentorship thing, kind of, you know what I mean? Like that, something that was at home, where even if I had to travel to another county, it would be fine. But like, I don't gotta like leave my house and be gone and learn another language and all this kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like make it more accessible and more real. It's almost like in school
Mhm.
when you go to school and you learn the fucking Pythagorean theory or whatever the fuck that's like. Nobody uses that
Pythagorean.
shit in their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Like
But you
teach
could
us.
even it could even be like volunteering, right? You can volunteer at homeless shelters. You can volunteer for. I mean, how many kids are homeless right now, or how many kids are in
Right,
in the system? You could take adoption. You could foster home. Like there's different shit like that the country could be like, hey, not only are we going to help you with this, but we're going to help. You're going to help pass this on, right? By
right.
doing XYZ. Like it's just
That's a great. You essentially paying it forward.
yeah, yeah. It's just I
Or
don't know, man.
or you could just fucking give a one-time
Get
forgiveness
rid of it.
and let us rock out. Like you giving again, when you look at it, right? The only thing on the surface is that we're not actively at war with another nation in this nation, right? But we're at war as a people economically, right? And our people are struggling with the opioids, the all of this other shit. And while we're not getting bombed on, and I get it, but you don't see fucking all of these other world powers doing what we do. They take care of their people. Canada takes care of their own. You know, UK, while there are some issues there, they take care of their own. We're the only nation that has the means and just says "fuck you" to its own people.
You, I'll take it another level. I would say you don't have to do the forgiveness, right? You could just simply say, "Hey, whatever's out there, you're only responsible for principle." You know how many people have so much interest on that shit? You know what I mean? Like you still would make shit tons of money back. People would, I mean, listen, me personally, I would be happy to pay knowing that, there's an ends to the means, right? There's an end to the tunnel because with the amount of it's just like credit card debt. The amount of interest that they're charging is just so crazy, dude. Like it's gonna take so long for people to catch up or be out from under these student loans now. The amount of people that went from being in such a great spot for this time period that Biden had it paused, which let me say he did a great job with that, to the amount of people that are now struggling or making a decision. Do I pay this or I just let this shit fuck up my credit and move on? You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's crazy, and nothing's being done. And obviously, he doesn't have 100% power with us. We know this. We understand 100% that it's not all him and it's not all Democrats. But you got to find these loopholes, and these loopholes can't be, yo, if you've been paying for 30 years and you're about to die anyway in the next 10, then we'll waive the shit. Like the shit's out of control, yo. It's out of control.
And the other thing to that, right? It's like, again, when you look at student loan debt and you total it up, you tally it up, the amount of money that we give for defense and other nations, it's a drop in the bucket. It's not even like the country needs this money back. It's just like they're the loan shark at this point. They're the bullies at this point. It's just like, yo, if y'all don't pay me back, how I'm gonna look to some other motherfuckers, man. You gotta run me your money, man. You know what I mean? They don't even need it. We don't even
I'm
need
pretty
it as a nation.
I'm pretty sure Apple could write a check and get rid of student debt tomorrow.
We don't
Like
need
that's
it.
that's the type of shit we're dealing with. But nonetheless, we'll beat a dead horse. VP's already said that he agrees. It's just us, you know, frustrated, and I get it. Um, but yeah, so well wishes to Israel. Obviously, we do support them. We just want some support in America as well. We support Biden supporting them. All right. So what else is going on? There's a lot going on, man. Things are just getting out of hand. That was the title there. Part of it was Biden giving away money. The next one that's getting out of hand for me, the Sanders is the Sanderses are getting out of hand for me. Like I fucks with Dion and I fucks with the Buffs, and I'm still waiting on my jersey to come. When it comes, I'm still rock with them. But they're getting out of hand. Like Deion Sanders is putting a patent on everything that has the word prime in it. Like prime rib, prime steak, prime wins, prime everything. This nigga's done patented everything. It's all right, dog. I get it. And Shador, dog, enough with the watch. Like, all right, we get it. You got a nice watch. You come from a family with tons of money. Like, waving the watch in somebody's face. See, because then somebody's wrong if they punch him in his face and they take it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I support him. But if I'm somebody, if you do it at the wrong school and somebody punch you in your face and they take your watch, now what?
Yeah, I hear you. You know what I mean? And again, they won one game last year. Dion, they've already more than doubled that. I think tripled it at this point. I think they've won 4 games or something like that. So that's already a positive, right? The merch sales are up 800%.
Right.
Attendance is up 200%. I saw a thing that said enrollment is up like 40%, like out of state enrollment and things like that, up like 40%. All those things, great, 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 right? But one, you put a target on your back and you make yourself that team that everybody wants to beat, right? Just because of how famous you are, kind of thing, right? And two, and EJ will definitely remember this. You probably remember this well, Steve, but EJ will definitely remember it more because he watches college football. This thing with Dion and them is starting to remind me of, remember that season when Manny Diaz first became the UM coach and they started the turnover chain, and it was like,
Oh yeah,
oh shit, like the swag is back in Miami.
that was
And
like
that
3 years ago,
season,
right?
yeah, that season, like everybody was hyped about it. You know what I mean? And then it kind of became too much. You know, it became the chain got bigger and even more diamonds, and then
Mhm.
they got the touchdown rings and all this. It just became too much. And then teams was like, yo, I can't wait to play these motherfuckers, yo. Like, like anybody. It wasn't even like the rivalry games like an FSU. It was like, yo, I can't, yo, I want to beat the dog shit out of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I feel like Dion might be making the Buffs turn into that kind of team that you kind of have circled on the schedule. They're not a rivalry, but we're playing them. And when we play them, we're gonna get them everything they fucking want because we want to show them that they're nothing. You know what I mean? That is all hype. Like the Oregon coach said in his pregame, like they're playing for clicks, we playing for wins. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so teams are gonna come into that stadium, whether they're home or on the road, with that kind of mentality.
Yeah, I think you guys are both spot on. I'm getting tired of that watch shit too. I think that's the corniest thing you can ever do. But I think you both are right, and I think the only thing that Dion can do now, he's built the hype. He's done everything that he needs to do. The only thing he can do now is win, because
Mhm.
if they win and they continue to win, they'll have a bowl game. And honestly, this team, with the season and the drama that goes on, because we know that they're not gonna battle for a top 10 spot at this point right now, unless some losses happen and things shake up. But he continues to win, things will quiet down. Now the question will be, will he choose to continue to put them in the spotlight unnecessarily? Will he continue to go out there and make stupid, will not continue to, will he go out there and do other things that will bring attention? Because what'll happen now, if they win out and they finish above 500, they can go back, they can have their bowl game, they can win or lose, and then they can go back and focus on the recruits and then actually build a powerhouse team for the next year. The problem is too, the window he has of success is very small. You know what I mean? It's very small because people are going to be expecting him within these 3 years to make them a true contender by the third year. But I mean, everything is a perfect storm for him to either succeed or fail. But he has this year locked into where it is, and then we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, and to be clear, like when I talk about Dion, what he's doing as a coach, I get it. He's doing it to recruit. He's doing it to get people to say, "Hey, I want to go there." He's putting them on the map. So I'm with that. It's the patenting for him that's frustrating me. Like every day, it's 3 new patents or 5 new patents, and it has the word Dion or prime time or like, all right, dog, we get it. People use the word prime. Like you don't own the word prime. But Shador to watch shit, like the first time it was like, oh, that was dope. All right. The second time, you're like, all right, he's making something of it. The third, fourth, fifth, now you lost 2 games. We ain't seen the watch in 2 games. That watch been nowhere to be found for 2 games. Shit been on the fucking counter somewhere. Ain't been around. You been wearing a fucking Apple Watch, checking your pulse. Now you I mean, don't get me wrong, it was great last night. They, last minute pass, turns into a game winning, drive or whatever. That was good. That was great. Hey, congratulations. But I mean, because Rick Ross came out and Khaled came out and said, "Oh, I gotta watch it. You give him the new Shador. Fuck out of here, dog. Like it's too much. It's too much. I don't need to see it every time. You've won now, like VP said. Next game you win the game. Just act like you won the game. You don't got like you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that.
Right. And I mean, this is something we see coaches do, right? Like, I mean, it was Pat Riley who patented the or put a trademark on the phrase three-peat after the Lakers. Was it the Lakers he won the 3 in a row with the first time? Yeah. He put a trademark on three-peat. So now, when the Bulls did it and they wanted to put three-peat on their merch, they had to pay Pat Riley. When New England did it with the Super Bowl, they had to pay Pat Riley. Or did they three-peat? Or I think it was a year in between.
Yeah,
It was 2
year
and then,
between, just like
yeah,
us.
right. But but when the Lakers did it again with Kobe and Shaq, they had to pay Pat Riley to put that shit on their merch. So I like something like that. It's not like egregious, but to your point, how you're saying like he's putting trademarks on anything with the word prime, and it's not like
It's crazy. Yeah.
it's not like prime is some new word that was made up. It's not like on fleek. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm gonna put a patent. I'm winning prime. He ain't get winning prime yet. He got prime winning. I'm about to steal winning prime. Fuck, he's killing me, man. But I still fucks with him, man. Still, I mean, it's still a good thing that they're doing, no doubt. All right, another thing that's going to transition us into where we want to be when we talk about getting out of hand. The Swifties, Taylor Swift, the NFL cutting to Taylor Swift every time. Travis Kelce is on every time. Every time I open up my phone, it's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And I guess it's the algorithm, but my algorithm isn't Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce or the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. It's football. It's the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I open up my phone, fucking algorithm is showing me Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's going to be at the game. Taylor Swift's going to be in New York. Taylor Swift was seen in New York. Taylor Swift. All right, we get it, dog. It's enough. Why do y'all think the NFL is doing this? Do you think they're that thirsty for likes, clicks, and visibility? Because I thought it was the biggest sport in the United States.
I would say no, but they are addicted to the byproduct of all those things you just mentioned, the likes, the clicks and stuff, which is money. You know what I mean? And the eyeballs.
Because they ain't got no student loans to pay.
those clicks, those likes, those follows, those eyeballs translate to dollars. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you look at a guy like Kelce, for example. I saw a thing this week that said since it's the stuff came out about him and Taylor Swift dating, the dude has gained like 800,000 followers on Instagram.
Yep,
like
about 900
in a week.
Yep. That was the first week. Yeah, that was the first week. Now he probably got another 900.
Because like there's a certain group of people on those platforms, like Kim K, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Drake, who like they can move people to click that button. You know what I'm saying? And so the NFL is damn sure gonna try to get their taste. They're almost like you guys, I've seen it a million times. You guys watched it recently in Sopranos when the boss is like, where's my taste? You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta kick up. You know what I'm saying? And so Kelce dating Taylor Swift and the NFL's getting the kick up.
They're smart. I mean, they've tapped into a whole nother realm of fans. Like, what if you got fans? Why you not gonna get some more fans if it's gonna give you some more cash? It's very simple. I think where they were very egregious at was their officiating performance for that game with the Zebras. It was nasty. It was nasty work. If you just didn't want the Chiefs to lose on prime time, just fucking exit off and just give them the win.
Especially to Zach
Like,
Wilson.
no,
If it was Aaron Rodgers, they probably would have been okay with it, but they're not letting Patrick Mahomes, not Patty. You gonna let Patty lose to Zach Wilson? Nah, we're not doing that. We're not
you're
doing
right,
that.
because Aaron Rodgers probably would have fit the Taylor Swift brand. You know, they probably all would have linked up midfield after the game and would have went out because you know they all in that same realm of music and liking and all that shit. But nah, not babyface assassin. He
Now,
can't win.
let me ask y'all this, because I actually didn't see the game. I actually didn't even see the highlights of whatever happened. So, like, give me the Cliff Notes version of what happened with the refs. I just seen people talking shit about it, but I haven't
You
actually
you
seen it.
you want an objective or a subjective? Because that'll tell who gives you this. That'll tell who gives you.
Listen,
Oh,
man,
man.
there were some major points in that game where there were egregious calls and egregious no calls. And it just, for me, right, I played the game and I understand. And to me, there isn't holding on every play. That's like holding is egregious. Now, if I'm tugging on your jersey, pause, and you know I'm making a football play, and you know something happens, that's what we mean by every play. But the egregious shit just shouldn't happen. Like 3rd and 22, Mahomes is scrambling. You can see this dude Jermaine Johnson getting bear hugged, like, and it's front and center.
They did miss that
There's a
one.
sideline judge right there. Then
That
on
was a
another
huge no
play,
calls.
it was very key to the game. Then on one of Isaiah Pacheco's touchdowns, the offensive guard of tackle, literally tackles Nasruddin, the linebacker who's in pursuit. He literally tackles this guy. It's on film where he's dragging his leg down.
So
And
I
it's not
saw
like it's in a commotion of things.
so here's the thing. I saw the Pacheco one, and to put it into perspective for you, VP, the Pacheco one is one that I always talk about the Dolphins fans. When you post those Monday morning quarterbacks, and it's like somebody had to slow this down, and they had to pick out every single play that the fucking refs missed.
Mhm.
The first hold on the 3rd and 22 was a big one. There was a difference maker in there where they called Sauce for either a hold or pass interference, which was to me
Defensive
not
holding.
defensive holding, should not have been called, and that was an impact to the game. So yeah, so there was some of those. There was a few of those. I do feel like the Jets could have won that game. The Jets could have won that game without the Sauce call, because I think the Jets get the ball back at that point. And things can change. The 3rd and 22, I think, went on to become a touchdown or a field goal. And because the game was that close again, Zach Wilson looked the best. I think that's the best Zach Wilson has looked since he came in the league. That game.
Yeah.
And if he can continue to play like that, we're gonna see. Granted, Kansas City's defense is not that good. Broken clock
I
is
actually
right
disagree.
two times a
I
day.
think they actually are that. I actually think they are a underrated defense, to be honest.
Yeah, KC's defense is tight. I wouldn't call them like legit like I would like Cowboys, 49ers, but they're a solid defense.
Yeah.
They got some great
Um,
cornerbacks. They got some great cornerbacks interior. They got some good guys. But I mean, Steve, going back to that defensive holding play, right? Okay, Zach Wilson's fumble of the snap is bad.
that
You
was
know,
big too, but
that was big. That
they
was
still
where
could have won beyond that. They still
we
could
could
have
have
won
won
that.
beyond that because we were holding Kansas City. And then if you look back at that Sauce Gardner call, the ball goes up. The referee he never throws the flag at the point of contact with Sauce Gardner. The only time he throws the flag is when Patrick Mahomes actually threw the pick. And until it was picked off is when the flag came out. That's where it's just
I
like,
hate
it's
plays like that.
egregious.
Mm-hmm.
You see
So
it in
I'm
the
gonna.
NBA where it's like the guy will go to the lane. It's like the refs watching, like, let me see if he scores or not. Okay, he didn't score. Foul. You know,
Right.
it's like,
So I'm
I
gonna
hate
say.
that shit.
So to you, I say welcome to being a Cowboys fan, because that shit happens every fucking week to us. Shit like that is every week. But even if the Jets lose that game, I would have liked to see them get that chance where they gave them that call on sauce, because they would have had at least one more drive, which they absolutely deserve, because that was not a hold. It was, to me, it wasn't a hold. I think everyone feels that it wasn't a hold. Shit, the announcer said it was a hold. Matter of fact, the guy that sits in there, Dean Blandino or whatever, was like, no, that was not. I wouldn't have called that. So there was definitely an opportunity there. I want to see, the one thing I feel like the Jets did well is they seem to have minimized the playbook a little bit. They let Zach Wilson throw the ball, which is good, but they didn't call like these wild ass plays and shit. It was pretty simple. You had your hooks, your curls, your crossers, and he did really well with that. I would like to see, if I'm a Jets fan, I would like to see that continue, and I feel like they could win some games if that continues. There's going to be some high-powered offenses that they play against, like the Chiefs, that the defense is going to have to help out, and if they can do that, then I feel like the Jets can win some games. I don't know that the playoffs are going to happen, but anything can happen. We're only 4 weeks in, and this is only week 5.
Yeah. Now, let me say this, right, and I know EJ is going to feel like it's coming from a certain place, and it's not, right. I've been saying for weeks that Sauce holds a lot, right? And I don't know if this happened, you know what I mean? But we all know that coaches talk to the league to say, hey, you guys got to watch for this. You know what I mean? Like what the, you know what I mean? And again, from what y'all are saying, it sounds like the shit was egregious. So, it was just a bad call. But I wonder if, the Chiefs put that on the refs' radar, and then not to mention that it is the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, et cetera, they were like, yeah, we got to make sure we take care of that.
It just in this instance, I could have saw if when the play is developing, he's running in towards the end seam, going up the hatch, and then he's making moves, right? Now there's contact. Now I could have lived with the moment contact had between the two of them, the flag came out. The contact happened, and like 4 seconds later, the pass is just errant, and it just goes off, and it's picked off cleanly.
But if the wide receiver initiates contact, which is what happened there, I think that's where you can't call that. And I think, again, that's what the NFL ref or whoever, their specialist that they have said. He was like, it shouldn't have been called. But
exactly, even still in that instance, if when contact was made, throw the flag. Then the flag was not thrown until the ball was picked off.
The boy,
after the contact was done,
Salah was out there.
I was
screaming.
I was happy he finally showed some emotion. I was happy he finally showed some damn emotion.
But the nastiest part about that is every time they looked at number 87, whether it was a catch, whether it was a drop, whether he got tackled, whether he was just lining up in the slot, and somebody said Travis Kelce in the slot, they had to pan to his box, pause, and show Tay up there. And so I say, Chiefs Kingdom is loving it, as they should, right? This is, visibility. You love the visibility. You love the money. They're selling jerseys. But what happens if they break up? Like, is she still a Chiefs fan? Like, how does this work? You know what I mean? Let me take that back.
Nah,
that's a rhetorical
she's not
question.
A Chiefs fan, though. I think it's just because she's dating him. Like,
yeah,
one, I don't even know if she rocks with football like that. But she's born and raised Nashville, Tennessee. So I would have to imagine she fucks with the Titans. You know what I mean?
If she was a football fan, yeah.
If she was a football fan, so I'm pretty sure, she could.
But we've seen this before.
Come home, basically.
Yeah, we saw this with Jessica Simpson and Tony Romo. Like, this is not new. This is not new.
Yeah, I forgot that they dated until you just said it.
Shout out to Tony Romo, man, one of the underrated stickmen out there for that one.
An undrafted stickman at that. That's different.
Absolutely. Tony Romo. Shout out to him. Shout out to Tony Romo. One of my favorite quarterbacks.
Yeah, man. There's some big football games this week. Thursday night was, I forget who played Thursday. It was the Bears. Bears decided they've decided they were a football team. and they were able to figure it out and pull a game out. DJ Moore showed up, and that was an interesting game. Everybody thought it was going to be trash. Washington though is showing that Washington is Washington. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to Chase Young? He just never came back from that injury. It seems like.
Well, they're speculating that they think there's no cohesion on that defensive line, and that he's just pretty much playing by himself and doing his own thing. So I think that's a major problem, and I think it's coaching. I mean, Ron Rivera is still the head coach, so we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
But still, like, the quarterback looked like shit. Obviously, he is shit, but their offense looked terrible. People were already giving Eric Bieniemy offensive coordinator of the year because Washington came out looking okay to start the season, but Thursday they looked like absolute trash. They looked like the worst offense in the league. And
But
go ahead.
no, I was just going to say to that point with the enemy, right? It's kind of like one of those things. I remember Flores said this for the Dolphins when people were like, "Yo, what the fuck is up with the offensive line?" And he's like, "Yeah, we knew we had some problems. We thought we could address it with scheme." Like you at some point you're only going to be as good as your talent. You know what I'm saying? And you can bring in a hot coordinator, but if you don't got the horses, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much can you really do?
Yeah.
And Ron Rivera is the head coach.
I watch these games and it's almost like these coaches and coordinators, and VPU always say it. They're just trying to. Buffalo just scored, by the way, pass to Stephon Diggs. It's like they just want to be the smartest person in the world at the time, because like the Bears have been struggling on the against the run all year, and it was like they got two running backs in Washington. It was like, no, let's give Sam Howell the keys to the fucking car tonight. Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, man.
We got two running backs.
Screw me over. Didn't even use the kid.
We got two running backs, and their run defense is bad, so they think we're gonna run it. So we're gonna trick them and pass.
Right, they'll never see this one coming.
we always say that. They always feel like, they gotta outsmart stupid. Like, just do what you know what to do. Like, and that's what makes Bill Belichick, because these guys come into these games. It's Bill Belichick. He knows what I'm gonna do before I breathe. And they do what the fuck they do. They just do what they do in New England, and they don't care.
Yeah. And like with us, like, it's one thing. Like, let me give you an example, right? When we played the Chargers first game this year, Dolphins fans killed McDaniel. They're like, "Yo, where's the balance? You pass too much. I get it. We got Waddle and Tyreek, but you're doing too much passing." There was plays where it's like 4th and 1, and we're in shotgun with 5 wide receivers. 3rd and 2, like, run the fucking ball. And he said in the offseason, "I'm gonna make more of an effort to run the ball because I think we are relying too much on the pass." Now, we played the Chargers week 1 this year, and we barely ran it. Why? Chargers was giving us everything we wanted in the pass game. So it was like, "Yo, this shit is working, so let's keep it cooking." But then in week 2, week 3, the shit was balanced. We ran, I think, like however many running plays. Let's say we ran 31 passing plays. It was like 28 running plays or whatever, nice and balanced or whatever. You know what I mean? So if it's one thing to adjust your game plan based on what's happening in the actual game, but to go in trying to do this, 3-dimensional chess and bullshit like that, you're gonna lose. That shit is stupid.
Yeah. Well, not too much on Washington and Chicago because that's a waste of breath. Oh, another thing getting out of hand: these London games, 3 weeks in a row. I like it. I like the 9:30 football, but damn, it's out of control. Last week, the week before, and now there's one. I'm sorry, last week, this week, and then there's one next week. Next week is Baltimore, and shit, I forget who they play, but they're in London as well. And then they got New
Jags
Mexico
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Well, I figured like the Jags, so I think they have their bye next week, and that's probably how they're trying. I think this is a litmus test of if we had a London team, if we expanded a London team, would it be possible to get teams to go out there, somehow?
Uh-huh.
And you give Jacksonville 2 in a row, right? Now they get their bye. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong, but the NFL is here for money. Shit, these motherfuckers is giving streams to everybody. Like Apple got a stream now. Fucking Amazon got Thursday nights.
YouTube,
YouTube
YouTube
is
got
getting a
yeah.
stream. Bleacher Report about to be on Mac showing NFL games. Like
Mm.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
They
But
play the
yeah,
Titans, and the Ravens play the Titans in London next week.
next week. Yeah. So they're up
Another
to
game
3
we
now,
really don't
right?
want to see. Another game we really don't want to see.
And then don't forget, you also got the Dolphins Chiefs playing in Germany.
Right. Right. So you got three in London, 1 in Germany. You're still gonna have the New Mexico game, I think, later, later this year, which New Mexico is the United States, right?
Yeah, Mexico.
Yeah.
And
The
I think it's gonna
Mexico
be in
game.
Mexico City,
Steve just
not New Mexico.
Yeah, not New Mexico, Mexico City. That's
Steve
my
just
bad.
Steve just annexed New Mexico
Right.
back to Mexico.
They're like,
We don't want
again,
you.
Gallos
Right.
Mios.
Move the border. Biden's gonna move the little gate. Um, but So yeah, so we got that many international games. So I'm just wondering, like, where's the NFL going with this? They've been talking about expansion, and who knows? It could happen. Germany is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Germany's going
I
to be
mean, for a
interesting.
while, I thought that they were gonna. I thought Jacksonville would be the team to move, especially like how much they were sending them over. I get that they weren't sending top teams to London for those games, but Jacksonville's kind of like that's like a home game for them now. The fans over there love them
Hmm.
because they're there so much. I
Yep.
thought it
They
would
just
be
can't
them, but
win. That's the thing.
right. But
Because if they start winning, then there's no chance of them. You know what I mean? Like Florida's not going to let them go or whatever. Well,
right and
when I say Florida, I mean the
and
fans.
right, and then the owner of the
Khan.
Jaguars, Shad Khan,
Yeah.
he don't appear to be in the mood for that shit because he's spending massive amounts of money around the area, not just on the stadium, but the surrounding area to build it up. So it don't like you ain't spending money like that if you're planning on relocating the team,
Right. Yeah. The thing about it is it's very possible that they don't relocate them, but they say, hey, you do half of your season there, or, and they give them some type of, who knows, right? Some type of break from the NFL, whatever that looks like. Whether it's 8 games, 6 games, who knows, and then you
Yeah.
just set it up that way. But that could work for them too.
Another team that you potentially could do, they're already on the East Coast, Carolina. Their fan base ain't like deep like that. They're not that great. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're not in a new stadium or anything. You know what I mean? So you
And they
move
just
them
be
over
losing.
there, yeah, make them that
And
team.
they're one of the newer franchises. They're one of the 2
Exactly.
newest
Mm-hmm.
franchises. So
Mm-hmm.
it
That's
could
not a
happen.
bad idea. Definitely not a bad idea.
Could happen. All right. So we got a bunch of games today. Bye week started, but Jacksonville, Buffalo right now 11-7, 17 seconds left in the second quarter. Jacksonville's in field goal range, and it looks like they should get at least 3 here. So it'll probably be like 14-7 going into the half. I don't know, I think Buffalo should be able to come back from that. What do you guys think?
What was the score again? I'm sorry.
It's 11-7.
11-7 right now.
11-7 Jacks.
And then it might go up to
And
14.
well, so much for that. Trevor Lawrence just fumbled and Buffalo took the ball away. So it'll be
Buffalo,
11-7 at that.
they are killing it on turnovers this year. That defense is eating up turnovers like crazy, picks and fumbles.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to get Von Miller back.
Trevor Lawrence, man, this fucking guy just can't get it together.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo's going to come back and win this game. I'm very confident in Josh Allen's ability to make it happen. Stephon Diggs, these guys, I think it'll happen.
I believe in Josh Allen in the regular season.
I've always liked Josh Allen. I don't. I
Yeah,
don't. I don't. I hope Jacksonville don't come back. I mean, Buffalo don't come back and beat them. I
same.
think. I think Trevor Lawrence can carve this defense up as possible, as doable. But again, another team that abandons the run. You got Travis Etienne that can get it done, and you're up, and it just I don't know.
Both of them. I
I
mean,
don't. They
fucking
don't.
Bills do that too. They got
Oh,
James Cook, and they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
We're not running the game.
Josh Allen's their running back.
Yep.
Right. That's true. That's true. All right. Baltimore goes into Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
This
I'm gonna
is
take
a
Pittsburgh.
1:00 game. I think
I'm
it's
gonna
a
take
trap game for
Pittsburgh.
Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Take Pittsburgh too.
And they've
And you
been
know why
looking
I'm
like
gonna
shit. They've been
you know
looking
why
like
I'm gonna
shit.
take you know why I'm gonna take Pittsburgh? Because Lamar Jackson don't win against them. He's 1-4 against them his whole career.
Wow.
That's a good bet then, because Pittsburgh's getting 4.5. They're plus 185 on the money line. But yeah, so I also have Pittsburgh winning that game. I think their defense is going
Yeah,
to get it done.
I think Kenny Pickett again. I think the Ravens are consistently a good team, and I think largely because of Harbaugh. And their fans, they swear that they're supposed to win a championship every year. Like, I get it, everyone feels that way, but you got to be honest about your team. And they've to me, they've looked like shit. They've beaten who they supposed to. Gardner Minshew just came in and carved their asses up. I don't think they're as good as they think they are. And I think Steelers get it done today.
Yeah, I got the Steelers winning that game. Carolina goes into Detroit. Detroit is a 9-point favorite on the sports books. What do you
They
guys
should
think?
win.
I'm gonna go Detroit. Yes, that should
Detroit's
be
They
without.
should win. I don't.
Detroit is expected
without
to be
who?
without Amon-Ra St. Brown.
still. They should
They're
still have
also
enough offense.
they're also going to be without Jahmyr Gibbs. Josh Reynolds is questionable, and Williams, who was supposed to come back, this Jameson Williams, who was supposed to come back from his suspension this week, is also questionable. That could lead to them having no wide receivers on the Detroit side, but I don't know.
I think Andy Dalton covers the spread versus these guys.
Is he
I, I
starting?
I would think so. I don't know. I didn't hear anything differently. If
Hmm.
Andy
I
Dalton
think
is starting, it's going to be a game.
I don't think I think Young is back.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought he was back too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to take Detroit then because I don't have any faith in. Even though I thought the kid looked good early on, I don't have faith in him right now.
He knows how to find Adam Thielen. That's the one thing that I have faith in him for. I don't see them using Miles Sanders as much as I would like for them to, Carolina that is, and I think that's what's hurting them a lot. You're trying to let this kid who's fresh out of college, you've seen on multiple occasions he's trying to outrun these defenders and he doesn't realize how fast they are. Still, he thinks he's faster than them and he's getting caught every single time. He doesn't know how to throw the ball away. He doesn't know how to check to the running back. Like it's early for him, and I think he'll be good in time. I just don't think it's now. And Detroit is just they're well oiled, man. That defense is well oiled. The offense is good when they want to be. David Montgomery has decided he wants to be a running back now that he's on Detroit. So I got Detroit winning
Yeah.
this game.
And Young should be back. I just pulled up the injury report for the game, and he's not even on the injury report. So that means he was full practice this week. So he should be back.
Nice.
Divisional game: Tennessee and the Colts. This one is in Indy. Jonathan Taylor signed his deal yesterday. He's going to be coming back and starting today. But that Tennessee defense is pretty good, man. Their offense just isn't.
Is Richardson playing or is it Minshew again?
Richardson's playing this week.
I
So this is a tough one.
I still lean towards Indy in that defense.
I agree.
I don't. I'm torn on this one, man. I'm gonna go with Tennessee only because that Vrabel is a really, really good fucking coach, man. This dude is a good coach. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just like him, but he finds ways to turn shit into sugar because Tennessee, they don't win a lot. They're not, but they're always close. The games that you think they're gonna get blown out, they're always in it. They won last week in a game that you thought they were gonna lose. Like I'm gonna go with Tennessee, and I feel like it's because they're gonna know how to contain Richardson on the run.
Yeah, I think Tennessee gets this done.
I'm gonna go with Colts.
They just got to get a quarterback.
The Giants are going into Miami. It's a 13-point spread.
Miami should win.
Oh God,
Miami
I hate.
should.
That's ridiculous.
Miami should trounce these dudes.
They
Because the
should.
Giants just look like they cannot get it together. I don't think they cover the
They
spread,
should.
but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't cover the spread. Let me say that. But I think they should.
Saquon is expected not to play. He's expected to be out again.
The Dolphins. Obviously I got the Dolphins, but the thing that I'm interested in is that, I mean, that line last week was giving up sacks on Daniel Jones like crazy. The Dolphins, we're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. And the way that Daniel Jones was getting abused last week, if we don't come away with at least 2 sacks from this game, there's a fucking problem. You know what I mean? And I heard a Dolphins a person who I follow on YouTube made the point of, oh, everybody's talking about Vic Fangio. You know, he was the big defensive coordinator hire. You have to understand that even though, you know, he's the guy now, this defense was built for Brian Flores and Josh Boyer. And Josh Boyer was still, even after they fired Flores, McDaniel retained Boyer through last season. And he was making the point of this defense was built for like that zero blitz, you know, stuff like that. And Fangio has to kind of put his imprint to bring in the guys that he wants to fit his scheme in that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, you know, I get that, but like, should the defense be this bad though? You know, like this shit is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, Miami's been a turnstile. It seems like they're letting people in the end zone, but then they're getting right out and getting into the end zone. And out shooting the offense always works until you run into an offense that can shoot with you, and that's what happened, I think, against Buffalo for you guys. The Giants cannot. They can't.
Well,
their offense is trash.
I partially disagree, right? And the reason why I say partially is just because we were going score for score with them, you know, and
With who?
With Buffalo.
Yo is down like fucking 21 points at one point. That's not Buffalo score for score. You went score for score like for two scores, and then they ran away with it.
Yeah, like they went down and scored 7-0. We went right back down and scored 7-7. They went down and scored 14-7. We went right back down and scored 14-7 or 14-14. They went down and scored 21-14, and then that's when we had the first punt of the game. Yeah,
that's when it got bad.
But the point I'm making is that our O-line, because of how bad it is, you guys, I don't know how long I've been saying on this podcast, in chat, this fucking Liam Eichenberg is fucking garbage. This dude is trash. I don't know why Chris Greer, our GM, won't. I don't know if he has like the Jared what's his name? The Cowboys coach who's on NBC now?
Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett. I don't know if he got the Jason Garrett, Jerry Jones type of film on Chris Greer, but like they won't give up on this guy, and he is so fucking trash, yo. And last week, this dude not only caused a sack on Tua, he's also the reason Teron Armstead is hurt. He couldn't hold his block. His guy got by him, and then while they were sacking Tua, that guy who sacked Tua rolled over on Armstead's leg, and now Armstead's on IR. This dude is fucking garbage, yo.
You know, I feel like left tackles are made to be hurt. Like Armstead's hurt. I mean, I know that pain all too well. You know, we're constantly without I don't even remember his name. Is how bad he is. 77. Fucking bum. Piece of shit. It's like free money we're giving this guy. Never plays. But yeah, I think Dolphins. I mean, I think all three of us have the Dolphins winning this game. I don't think it's going to even be close. The Giants are just absolute trash. Without Saquon, they look like the worst offense in the league. The question is, why did Daniel Jones get paid? What did they think they saw in Daniel Jones? Like him and Dabble were fighting last year. They try to make it seem like they weren't fighting last year, and then last week they were fighting again on the sideline. Like Dabble's throwing the fucking tablet after he throws an interception. Like,
You know what it
why
is,
would you
Steve?
even go sign this guy?
You know what it is? Is that you guys said it earlier, or you actually said it earlier, right? Not you guys. You said Zach Wilson has his best game. If we can get that kind of production out of him, it just, they could be okay. And I think the Giants, and not only the Giants, teams in general, they look at players who are marginal, and then those guys just have a flash of not even greatness, just like goodness. And then they say, I think we turned the corner. We got our guy. A zebra can't change the stripes. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
I also
Daniel
think
Jones
Daniel.
has always been trash.
I also
But he
think
looked
he's
good in that one playoff game.
yeah, and I think he's regressed. But also, when you look at the Giants, I mean, who the fuck is on that team? Who do you have
That's the
to
other
throw the
thing. He
ball
doesn't
to? I've
really
been
have any.
saying
He
that.
doesn't have any targets.
I've been
But they brought
saying
in
that.
No. But they brought in
Darren
Darren
Waller's
Waller.
been hurt. He's been hurt,
He
and
been
that
playing all
motherfucker has
season.
one. I mean, he started off the
I
season
think he has
with a hamstring
17
injury.
yards on the season, dog. Like he has less yards. I think you got punt returners that got more yards than this guy on the season. Like it's
Yeah, I mean, he's also injury prone. He's also an injury prone guy, and he had that 1 year
This dude is
with the
only trying to
Raiders.
choke on his drink. He said, "Oh my
Yeah, I
god!"
mean, he had that one season with the Raiders, but I mean, he really isn't.
But
I
he
don't
had
know. And
multiple
then
seasons
again,
with the Raiders. And this guy is
yeah,
6'6". He's 6'6". You
yeah.
mean to tell me
He,
you can't get a first down with a 6'6" tight end?
I
Like,
mean, if
dog,
that's the only guy they got to throw to, ain't nobody letting him get that.
put it into perspective. Josh Dobbs finds ways to make Zach Ertz still look like the Zach Ertz of the Eagles. Like, and this is a
Yeah.
quarterback that nobody wanted to pay. He came into camp at the last week of camp for Arizona. Like, the tight end should be the quarterback's best friend. Everyone knows that. Jason Witten. I mean, it's always like that. And you mean
Mhm.
to tell me that this guy, I don't even think he has 5 catches on the season, Darren Waller. I think he's got less catches than games he's played this year. Like that's a damn shame. That it's unacceptable from Daniel Jones to allow that. It's unacceptable for their coaching staff to allow that. There's no way you can't say, "Yo, listen, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna throw the ball to Darren Waller at least 10 times this week. He's the best offensive player that we have with Saquon Barkley out. Like it makes no sense."
I get it. I get it. I mean, but again, when you don't have just a shell of anything at receiver, no disrespect to those guys, but I can't even name who was out there.
No, I
They
hear
don't.
you, EJ, but Steve has a great. I mean, I just pulled up his numbers, and he's played in 4 games. I know you said he was injury, but they got him listed as 4 games played. I don't know what extent, but he has 15 receptions, 23 targets, 15 receptions, 153 yards, and that's it for the season. And for the type of weapon he is and the amount of money they pay him, like that's not enough.
It's not enough is an understatement. I mean, Kyle Pitts, same thing in Atlanta. Like
Oh
it
yeah, that
makes
shit
no
is
sense,
criminal.
dude.
That shit is criminal.
You
Because at least they
drafted
have
this
Drake
kid.
number one, and at least they have Drake London on the outside. They're not even using Cordell Patterson, who was
Yo,
all world at one point. They're
I
really not doing anything.
I am never. It's very rare that I'm wrong. Probably 1%
Oh,
of the
wait
time.
a minute.
Atlanta should have went and got Lamar Jackson. They should have been in a Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. 100%
What? All right, so you admitting that me and VP were right?
about Atlanta only.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
You know,
But
it,
and
it's
the reason I say that. Let me say why I say that. Because they have Kyle Pitts, first round pick, Drake London, first round pick. Tyler Algier, I think he was a second round pick. Now you got Bijan Robinson, top 5 pick. Like these are the guys that you brought in. You brought in all offense to make this team good on offense, and then Desmond Ritter is the guy that you decided to trust with the keys to the car. Like,
Yep.
I'm sorry, but that's a horrible decision. I don't know what they
We
thought they
we
saw.
we tried to tell you. We tried
And
to tell
even
you.
and even if they didn't go get Lamar Jackson, I would have found some type of veteran to try and go pick up to try and steal or get out of somewhere. But this guy,
We
like
tried to tell you.
Kyle Pitts. What's Kyle Pitts? Pull up Kyle Pitts when you get a chance, Var. We still got one game before we get to them. But that's a damn shame. New Orleans Saints are going into New England. Derek Carr is supposed to play this week. Alvin Kamara is back. New England is without their number one cornerback, which is tough. Oh, by the way, I know you guys weren't watching the game, but Milano got carted off for the Bills today,
Ooh.
which is a
Good.
big loss.
He's
That's
a
not
dirty
nice.
motherfucker.
They lost a couple guys today.
He's a dirty motherfucker, yo.
They lost a couple guys.
I'm not happy he's injured. I'm not happy he's injured. Don't get me wrong, but that motherfucker's dirty, yo.
Yeah. They lost a couple guys, but he's probably the most notable. And he had a sling on his leg when they carted him off.
And
so
they lost 2 guys last week against us. That defense took they took a lot of injuries last week
Some
when they played us.
They taking some hits, and that's the thing I was saying this year. And that's about last year to this year, and that's one of the only things I can say for my team thus far. Injury bug, isn't as bad as it was as last year. At that point, I'm not gonna say we're not gonna get people hurt, but we started off fucking having to be on our 5th string fucking tackles. So yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, I know about it.
What was the next game that we had?
The Saints go into New England.
Give me the Saints.
Yeah,
they got
the Saints.
They got New England as a 1.5 favorite on this one. I don't know if New England's as bad as the Cowboys made them look.
They are.
I think
they have an okay defense and a terrible offense, and then a terrible quarterback.
And they're without Judon. I think he's out for 4 weeks. So that's a big loss. But I don't think New England knows that Ramondre Stevenson can't catch the football. They still keep sending him out on routes, and the ball is there, and he's still looking downfield or looking out of bounds. Like, this guy never gets his head around. Why are you not using Zeke on those? Like, I don't get it. I'm with you guys. I got the Saints on this game. I think the Patriots make it close, and it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I got the Saints. And then after that, we got Houston going into Atlanta. Atlanta's a 2.5-point favorite somehow, although Houston has looked pretty damn good, man. All that shit I talked about Houston's quarterback, and I'm forgetting his name right now. It's escaping me.
CJ
Stroud. And the kid he came out the next week and threw for 270, 280 yards. He found Nico Collins last week, I want to say, for 3 touchdowns. Like, and they blew somebody out, Indy maybe. But they're looking. It might have been Jacksonville. You're right. It is Jacksonville. It was No, because Jacksonville played in London last week. But they ended up winning last week, and they're finding ways. So they got Houston going into Atlanta. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna rock with Houston on this one.
Bijan Robinson is nice, yo.
Yeah. And for Kyle Pitts, I pulled up his numbers. Kyle Pitts on the season has 11 receptions for 121 yards on the season.
Bro. Terrible. No, nothing. So they blew out the Steelers last week.
That's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, and that's another thing, right? The Falcons brought in Bijan Robinson. They picked him super, super early to not use this guy. Mm-hmm. You got third. There was times last week where it was
not using any of their weapons. None.
It was 3rd and 2, and you drop back Desmond Ritter and let him throw a pass when you got you got the kid that everyone wanted and wants Saquon Barkley to be, and you have him on your team, and you're not using him the way you should be. Atlanta deserves whatever comes to them. I don't know
Yeah,
about this
we
game though.
tried to tell you Ritter isn't that guy. We tried to tell you that. We tried, and you put Lamar
Yeah, but I
Jackson.
tried to
You
stay
put
in
Lam-
mind black quarterbacks, man.
you put Lamar Jackson in this offense with a Drake London, with a tight end, a Kyle Pitts, and now Bijan Robinson. They might be scoring 40 points a game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Lamar is a better option for sure.
the problem is, the Falcons owner, when like I'm talking about the Lamar situation, he's a part of the good old boys network, right? And it seems like the owners got together and was like, we're not paying the Deshaun Watson type of money to anybody else. Cleveland's going to be an outlier. We're not doing that, and they didn't offer him anything realistic. I don't think teams even engaged with him, let alone offered him anything. So they ended
Well,
up with what they
The
got.
Falcons went out of their way. The Falcons went out of their way to not do it.
Right. They
Which
were the
which
team that said,
he
yeah.
Arthur Blank, who we all thought to some degree because of his support of Vic and all of that shit in the past,
Mm-hmm.
that he would have been smart enough to put his hat in the running to some degree. And his stance was just one of the most bold ones. And he's probably pissed off at himself because it's like he fell on the sword very early, for the rest of the league and the owners, when he would have easily benefited by bringing the second coming to Michael Vick back to Atlanta.
Right. And at the end of the day, even if you didn't get Lamar, you could have made the attempt. And then whatever happens with Baltimore happens with Baltimore, whatever. But if teams were steadfast on not paying him that kind of money, then maybe Baltimore says, yeah, we're not paying that. So we'll let him walk, give us the draft picks, etc. And then, you bring him in there. Like y'all was saying, Lamar with those kind of assets around him, the Falcons could be good money this year, especially in that division.
You guys got Houston or Atlanta in this game?
I'm going
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. I'm gonna take Houston.
This one's in Atlanta. Yeah, I think Houston's gonna. I think Houston finds a way to win this game.
Still a home game for Houston. they fans is already down there. The strippers, everything, they already there.
Bengals with no T. Higgins going into Arizona to play against Arizona. Bengals are only a 3-point favorite in this game. Have the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, I still got them though.
I got the Bengals winning this game. I think Arizona was a fluke.
T. Higgins out for sure.
T. Higgins is out 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna update my fantasy roster because they still got him questionable.
Yeah, I go Bengals.
I got the Bengals beating Arizona. And I think they cover that spread easily.
Oh shit! I don't have any more wide receivers. All my other guys are on bye.
Ain't that a shame?
Yep.
I told you did that.
I knew this week was going to be. I knew this week was going to be tough because I had a bunch of guys. I drafted a bunch of guys who are on bye this week, but I was able to manage. If he's not hurt, I'm good. I had him in. I had enough people to get me by this week, but yeah. Fuck it.
Philly's going
no receiver.
Yeah. Philly goes into LA to play against the Rams. Philly's a 4-point favorite only. Cooper Kupp is back this week.
People are saying that the Rams are going to get busy with them versus, on offense because the Eagles defense isn't good. I don't know. I still got the Eagles winning. I feel like I feel like their trap game is the following week when they play us in New York. But I mean, I don't know.
Here's the problem. The Eagles defense on paper everybody was before the season started. Oh, they're the best defense, and they're gonna be the best defense in the league. And on paper, they look really, really good. But in real life, they look like shit. They're giving up a lot of points this year. They are not looking as good as they should. They're giving up 30 points, 27 points. They're giving up some numbers, man. I told you guys a few weeks ago, Matthew Stafford is super, super, super underrated. My hate for the Eagles makes me have to pick the Rams. And Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts he's not looking as good as he did last year. I mean, I know they're undefeated, so it's hard to make this argument, but if you're watching these games, if anybody that's watching these games, ETN just fucked up my underdog. But anyone that's watching these games, he just broke I had him under 68 yards and he just broke one for like 30.
Oh, okay.
He already had like 33. I'm picking the Rams in this game.
I'm going Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles. I don't think the arguments that you're making is wrong, Steve. Hurts to me, Hurts has always seemed kind of limited. It seems like they they got the good defense. Or last year they had the good defense, and the offense was good, but all of that, we just got to get to the goal line and we're going to QB sneak it. They get a lot of first downs, QB sneaking and stuff like that. So it allows them more opportunities. You know what I mean? And we all know you keep a defense on the field long enough, they're going to get tired. You start carving them up, and
Trevor Lawrence just got bent up pretty badly.
Hurts hasn't been that impressive to me, but it's always the thing you always have to come back to with him last season and this one is the record. So you can say, oh, Hurts is really not doing it, but they're undefeated. They're 11-0, they're 12-0, whatever it was until they finally lost, So you always had to fall back on the record to say it was almost like a power rankings. This team don't really seem like they're 11-0, so
He's who he is, who I thought he was at Alabama. He's good. He's a great manager. He will keep you, where you need to be. He's not going to blow the game. He's not going to win the game. And in the big moments, he's going to disappear. So, I love to see, a black quarterback, etc. But I've never had faith in this guy. Sorry.
While we're here, how do you guys feel about that? About the sneak that they use, the I don't know what they're calling, the Philly push or whatever.
Like the push in the back thing.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of it. I've never been.
So
from the first time I remember ever seeing it being used was USC used to do it with Matt Leinart, with Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and those guys. They used to do it, and I didn't like it back then, and now you see it in NFL games. I'm not a fan of it.
So you got people that are saying that it should be banned. Of course, you got Eagles fans that are like, no. But then you also got people that are like, hey, the Giants tried it and it didn't work. The Bengals tried it, it didn't work. Other teams are trying and it doesn't work. So I don't listen. It's easy for me as a Cowboys fan to say it's bullshit.
I think.
Well, was it because they got on this? Was it because they got fined? Was it because they got penalized for trying to do it versus not it working?
No, nobody got penalized.
I thought they did.
Oh, they may have, but I know they didn't. Well, yes. Well, it was a penalty because they said somebody lined up offsides or some wild ass shit, and that also happened to the Eagles too.
My problem with it is that, and EJ can probably speak more to this since he actually played the game, is that I feel like that type of sneak, it heavily advantages the offense, and the reason why is that you no longer can line up over the center anymore, right? So there's already a gap in between the where the ball is essentially going. The center is already going to be pushing forward as soon as you snap it, almost uncovered, and then the quarterback is coming right behind him with the running back pushing the quarterback forward. And so I feel like that's why that particular play is so hard to stop, because you essentially got an uncovered man going into blocking, coming out of his 3-point in the center, and then the quarterback right behind him with another player pushing him forward. So I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, it's I could do without it. I can do without it. But I mean, you also it's a Florida game. Are you gonna
Yeah,
allow them to get to that point anyway? But I think the issue for me was, when they penalize another team for doing it and let them get away with it. That's the bullshit.
yeah. Like I don't think it's one of those things they gotta like get rid of. Like it's not like damaging the game in my opinion, but I'm not a fan of it. I would prefer them getting rid of you know penalties that don't impact the play. I think that shit is more detrimental to games than this pushing the back thing. We had one last week with Buffalo. To your point, when I was saying we was going score for score with them, Steve, it was 21-14 to, or I'm sorry, it was 28-14. Tua threw a touchdown pass to Waddle that got called back because the offensive lineman who was on the opposite side of the play went 1 foot beyond the line of scrimmage. So we got hit for an illegal man downfield. And
Yeah, they've been emphasizing that shit. That happened to us too, and it's bullshit. It's ticky tack and it's stupid. I
yeah,
can't I can't stand it. Can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Yeah. I don't know about that sneak that they do. I'm not a fan of it. It's it's bound to be a game changer one day, right? Meaning there's gonna come a point where there's a big game happening and it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 1.5 or 4th and 2, and the play is almost like you said, VP, it's almost unstoppable because of the inability of the defense to be able to jump off of it, right? And then
right.
all they're doing is the center, especially Travis, or not Travis Kelsey, Jason Kelsey. He said he's lining up in a 4-point stance, and then when he snaps the ball, he falls down, and then Hurts just dives on top of him and then gets pushed, right? So
Right.
now he's not touching the ground, so he's not ever down, and then he just gets pushed through the pile. So
Hmm.
it's trash. It's trash.
Right. And
Um,
then you can't
all
even
right,
like remember like before the defense used to be able to like jump over the O
jump
line, but
over
you're
the
not even
top,
allowed to
right?
do that anymore. So it's like like you said, this play is almost unstoppable. So or
Yeah.
unstoppable. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
You got oh my god, how did they let Stephon Diggs get that open? That's about 50 yards. Jets going into Denver.
Denver.
This game is tough for me. Like I like my quarterback in fantasy is on bye, and I almost picked up Zach Wilson, but I was like, and they were playing at home. I think I would have picked them up, but playing in Denver, the altitude, I was like, I don't know. So I didn't go with him. But I think this game is gonna be closer than people think, even with Zach Wilson. But I still got Denver edging it out.
I
And
got
I
the
think
Jets
even though
winning
y'all
this game.
defense is legit, I think the playing in Denver might be a factor and allow Denver to cook a little bit more than y'all normally would give up versus a team like that.
I got the Jets winning for the few factors here. I think their running back Javonte Williams is going to be out.
Yeah,
Which is going to be tough because that leaves them with Samaje P. Ryan, and then I think the kid's a rookie, McLaughlin, which
yeah.
I liked
He's
last
pretty
week.
good. He's pretty
He
good,
looked good last week.
and we
Um,
struggle against the run.
but where I think Denver wins this game is I don't think they get beat on those lofted passes by Russell Wilson to Cortland Sutton.
You
Like the
talking about the
passes,
Jets? You say you think where the Jets win this game?
that's what I said.
No, you said Denver.
Or did I say
Yeah, he
Denver?
said,
I'm sorry. Maybe I
yeah,
meant where Denver loses this game. Where the Jets win
Hmm.
this game, to me, I think is where I don't think the Jets defense gets beat like that. I also think that the Jets defense, their defensive front, is going to be able to beat up on the Broncos offensive line significantly, and that's going to put Russ in a really difficult situation. And I don't think it's Russ anymore at this point. I've been telling you guys all season. I think it's Sean Payton. I don't think Sean Payton and his
yeah.
team
You have
knows
been
how to
saying that.
adjust to what's happening.
You have
So
been saying that.
I think
I, I,
I
yeah,
think the Jets win this game.
I want the Jets to win, but anything could happen. Even if Zach Wilson doesn't perform and Trevor Simeon comes in, there's a revenge factor there
Oh
where
no, they
Simeon
playing
balls
Russell.
out. Yeah,
Simeon ain't coming
gotta
home.
gotta play. Yeah,
But
and
I
then you
will
got
say this: your
mhm.
I think your running game goes crazy today. That's where I think you guys win this game.
Yeah,
Broncos
Brees
can't
Hall.
stop a
They
nosebleed.
they gotta take the training wheels off for Brees Hall, because he's only. I think we've only averaged like between our running backs like 20 carries in 4 games, or no, maybe like 50, in like 4 games.
They gave up what
Um,
300 plus yards on the ground to y'all in Miami,
last year.
Denver.
Oh,
No, the Denver. Denver gave up like 300. It was like
Yeah.
323 yards or something like that to Miami on the
Hmm.
ground.
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta do the
Brees
same
Hall,
thing.
yeah, Brees Hall should easily have 115, 120 yards today. Just pound the rock and play the clock.
Yeah, and they, you also had the Sean Payton versus Nathaniel Hackett thing as a narrative.
Ooh,
So,
little
um,
baby narrative. I like that. I
yeah,
like
little
it.
baby narrative. And yo, the things that came out, and I posted it a few times in the chat. The things that came out about Russell Wilson being a douchebag teammate. Beast Mode,
Oh yeah, I saw
called him
the
out being a
Marshawn
douchebag
Lynch
teammate.
said he didn't have
Yeah.
his his phone number.
Yo,
yeah.
he said son called him from a blocked number and then just like had a shitty conversation with him. So I'm gonna go with my Jets, adding that to Russell Wilson hate, just cause I don't know that we will win, but I'm gonna go with my Jets.
But
Now what?
Russell Wilson is black in skin only. Like I think he probably saw Marshawn Lynch and was like, nah, I can't be friends with this dude. He can't have my phone number. Marshawn Lynch looked like the type that would just show up at your house. Like the dude that show up at your house, ring your doorbell, and you just act like you ain't home. Like that's what he make me think of.
Now I will shoot Russ a little bit of bail on the block number thing, because I know that like people like you can have that as a feature, like where it's not like you like I think you press like star something to block
No,
your number. You can
no,
actually
no, hell no. The fact that your starting quarterback doesn't even already have Beast Mode's number and y'all don't have that back and forth already. Beast Mode had to go to the player personnel
yeah.
person
No,
on
no, that
staff.
that that part of it, I'm with you. I agree with you that part. The fact that a teammate didn't even have your phone number, that seems like a problem to me. And it's not like he's not like the 53rd guy on the roster. He's this is your starting running back. You know what I mean? So that part of it was an issue. But like when he called him from a blocked number, I didn't necessarily have a problem with that, because I'm just like, it's possible that he has his phone number blocked through whoever his carrier is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still. Because listen, even from the story, the player personnel guy obviously was told you can't give out Russell's number.
Right.
So I mean, it's nasty, man. He's a shit. We give other people shitbag teammate labels. He's a shitbag teammate.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I'm all I'm making the point is I don't know if he blocked his number or his number is blocked for everybody. You know, did he block it for Marshawn, or his number is blocked when he called anybody?
Yeah,
Yeah,
nope.
if my shit blocked, I'm not dialing *72 just because we teammates. I'm not doing it
On a cell phone.
uh, on any phone.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
got time for that.
no.
Um,
He's a shitbag teammate. Fuck him.
People expect this game to be the shootout of the week. Kansas City going into Minnesota. Kansas City is a three and a
Fucking
half
shootout.
point favorite.
That shit ain't gonna be no shootout. I got Kansas City, man. You guys know I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. That team, they 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 were worse than their record last year, and now this year those chickens are coming home to roost.
Was
Who
it?
you got? Kansas City going into Minnesota.
This is also Mahomes' first time playing in Minnesota in his career, which is kind of surprising. Not like he's been in the league. He's been in the league like 5, 6 years now.
I'm gonna say Minnesota. I'm gonna say Kansas City wins.
Kansas City should win this game. Well, I don't know, man. Them Vikings is different, yo. When they're on, let me take that back. Justin Jefferson is damn near unstoppable. It's just, yeah, Kansas City gonna win this game. Kirk Cousins is trash. Dude is fucking trash, yo. He's garbage. All right. So we got Dallas is going into San Francisco.
That's gonna be a
This will probably
fucking
be
game.
this is gonna be a nosebleed game. Dude's is gonna
That's
get
gonna be
hit.
a game.
Christian McCaffrey is due for an injury. He gets injured every single year. Every year he's been hurt since he came in the league.
It's true.
And he's right about due. He is right about due. But I mean, obviously, I'm going with the Cowboys. But I understand anyone that goes either way. I do.
I got where's this is this game in San Fran or in Dallas?
San Fran. That makes it tougher, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys as well, but I think they win ugly. But at the same time, real quick, EJ, I also think that this game is a must win for the Cowboys. And I get it, it's week 5, you know what I mean, and Cowboys are 4-1 and all that kind of shit. But it seems like you guys can't get over the hump when you play like the better teams, and Dak has been struggling. I don't care if you guys win big, if you win small, if you win ugly, you gotta win. This shit is like a must-win game to fucking exercise those demons or whatever. You know what I mean? Like literally, remember when Steve Young beat the Cowboys? Like, can you get the monkey off my back? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is the kind of game like Dak is gonna be the same way. Like, he got to get this monkey off his back.
EJ, who you got?
I feel like it's time for. I really don't know. I think it's time for the 49ers to lose, and I think Micah Parsons is the difference maker.
So I've been hearing people all week. Even Skip Bayless was like, Brock Purdy does no wrong. I'm not scared of this, or he's scared of this guy and all of that, right? And I could see it. When you look at his numbers, it tells a story. But your eyes, if you're watching the game, your eyes tell you something different. Brock Purdy can't throw the deep ball. He does get yards, but he gets yards because he's getting the ball to his playmakers. He gets the ball to McCaffrey. He throws a short pass to McCaffrey. He turns into 50 yards. He throws the ball to Deebo Samuel. He turns into 30 yards. He throws the ball to Ayuk. Ayuk gets 25 yak. Like, he throws the ball to George Kittle. George Kittle gets 25 yak. Brock Purdy is not what people are trying to make him out to be. People are trying to make him out to be Tom Brady because of the similarities of being drafted extremely late and making a team look like it's a really good team and all of that, right? They got probably one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best defense in the league. They're definitely part of that conversation. And when you look at the offensive staff, if you put any serviceable quarterback in there, they should be able to put those kind of numbers up. So they gotta stop Dick eating this kid. But he also hasn't been on the run at all. And we saw when he was on the run last year, he had a challenge with the Cowboys defense. And this year it's even more of a better pass rush that the Cowboys have. So I do feel like it's going to be a really, really good game, and I can't wait for it. Obviously, as a Cowboys fan, I have to pick it. But I do think it's going to be a tough game, and it's going to come down to Dak. It's going to come down to Dak's performance. It's going to come down to him being able to come off of the tight end and not force the ball to the tight end because they got some really good linebackers. It's going to come down to red zone scoring. Hopefully Mike McCarthy found some ways to get some plays in there for them to score in the red zone. And also hopefully he's learned how to fucking manage a clock, or has given that responsibility to somebody else, because those are the games we lose when it comes down to him making, clock management decisions. So those are going to be the key factors to me for the Cowboys to win that game.
I take the Cowboys. Michael Parsons. I think Michael Parsons is going to go on a rampage.
Oh shit! Only statistic that I will tell you guys is that every time all three of us pick the Cowboys, they lose. So
did Vari pick? I don't think Vari picked. Did he pick?
He said the Cowboys. He thinks they win ugly.
Oh,
All right. Last game of the week, Monday night game is
Green
It's a
Bay.
terrible game. Green Bay going into Vegas.
Is Aaron Jones playing?
Aaron Jones is playing.
Okay.
Aaron Jones is playing, and um,
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Broadway Jimmy G
Broadway
Spot.
Jimmy.
Porn
I'm gonna go
star
with
Jimmy.
I'm gonna go with Raiders, man. Broadway Jimmy.
How about you,
Porn
VP?
star Jimmy.
It's in
Who is it
Vegas.
again? Raiders against who?
Packers.
Raiders against Packers Monday night. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with porn star Jimmy.
The Raiders are supposed to win this game. Devontae. You know what? I don't know if what's his face is playing. Jair Alexander. He was out last week. Jair Alexander can slow down Devontae. Devontae's not mad. You know, he's almost matchup proof. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
But I think
And their
Jair can slow him down a little
former
bit.
teammates weren't they on the Packers at
Yeah,
the same time?
yeah, they
Yeah,
know each other.
he's barbecue chicken. And then the other kid, Myers,
That's
is
who I
not
think is
bad
gonna eat.
either. Yeah,
That's who I think eats.
yeah.
Yeah, I got the Raiders winning this game. They're also the
Porn star
favorite by
Jimmy.
2 points. Yeah,
Porn star Jimmy.
Jimmy G Spot. All right, that's all we got for picks this week. That is everybody. I went to see the Paw Patrol movie yesterday, and it was better than any of the DC movies that came out in the last 5 years. Even the villain acting was better. I don't know, man. You guys been watching anything?
Love is Blind. That's about it for me.
Yeah, for me, nothing new. I talked about it last week. I watched that movie that you recommended, the Million Miles Away. I thought that was pretty good. I told EJ that not trying to clown him, or nothing, but I thought that's how
Yes, you
that
are.
Flaming Hot movie should have been made, where it was more of a like telling a story instead of trying to like be a comedy. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And then I also checked out. It came up on Netflix. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, oldie but
Oh yeah,
funny as hell, man.
Yo, you know what's good that I forgot to tell you? I watched. Oh no, I think I said it last week. All right, Twisted Metal on Peacock.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal. What's that about?
It's based off the video game. Remember the old PlayStation video game?
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. I saw that with the robots.
Yeah.
The kid created the robot with the father? No, not that one.
No.
Like the robot boxer or whatever.
No, man.
That's called Real Steel with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, that. Twisted Metal.
No, fool. Twisted Metal when you used to have the PlayStation game where you drive around cars and shoot people and blow people up. And they had Sweet Tooth, the clown, the killer clown. Okay. Anyway. All right. Never mind. And I just saw another movie on Amazon. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was one of those Blumhouse productions, and Blumhouse quietly, man, they do a lot of great horror film genre productions. Like they just did the new Exorcist, they did the Megan, the Insidious. The movie I just watched was called Totally Killer. It's on Amazon. It's pretty good. And then they did Get Out. They did a bunch of Blumhouse has done a bunch of joints over the last 20 years that have been pretty good. They kind of do films that exist in the fiction of, it could be like a real storyline, like something you could possibly see happening, and then they have things that are just like far out, so you never really know what you're getting. So that was a good one. Totally Killer on Amazon. It was kind of funny. Kind of funny.
Totally Killer. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I might have seen that pop up on the what to watch list, possibly.
Oh yeah, and Power Force. Been watching.
Well, the writers strike is over, so hopefully they'll get some writers back, because I feel like they had, like, remember the replacement refs? That's what it feels like Power had. Like, they just
Yeah,
had a replacement
I
writer.
was just about to say that
Mhm.
to you for a show that we watched, Steve. Now that the writer strike is over, Upload season 3 starts on
Mm.
October
I'm
20th.
caught up. I'm caught up on
Okay,
that.
I didn't know you jumped on. Yeah, so season
Yeah,
3 starts on October
I'm caught
20th.
up on that for sure.
So, yeah, so I
Um,
guess they were done with it, but they held it back just because they couldn't release anything due to the strike. So it's not like we got to
Yeah,
wait on it. So October 20th that'll premiere.
that's a good thing. All
it's
these
a
fall
great
shows.
show.
Hopefully, anybody that has been writing. And if I was a writer, I would still been writing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I would have still been writing for, like, especially the big shows, so that I could come back
they
and be
probably were.
and yeah, and as soon as it was over, be like, yo, I got a whole fucking season for you, or you
Yeah,
know what I'm
even
saying?
if it's not a big show, like even if you're a writer, like yo, I got this new show, and if you can
Yep.
pitch the right person, get something popping. Or maybe you were like
Yeah.
you were like on a smaller show that was on hold. Now you pitch something and it becomes like the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because with all these streaming services and different network, they're all hungry for content. You know what I mean? That's why we see
Hmm.
so much bullshit. So
Original
if
content.
you right, so if you got something that's original and they like it, you could go from being like a writer on the show to being like the writer on something new
I need to
during this
finish
time.
writing. I need to finish writing my reality slash game show that I got. I've been talking about it for a while. Can't talk about it here because someone might steal it.
I mean,
Someone listen.
your
Yeah,
first mistake is you got to spend
definitely.
more time at Starbucks.
What's that?
That's like on page 3 of the writer's manual. You got to be
That's
in a
where
Starbucks to do your
that's where
writing.
they write.
That's like one of the tropes about writers. They spend a lot of time in like Starbucks and stuff
Coffee
like that.
shops.
Right.
I'd have to. I mean, I could see that because you see a lot of people. There's a lot of
Yeah.
traffic in those places. You can come
Some
up with
people say
characters that way.
right. Some people say they get ideas from that. Like they sit like how people who go to a place and talk too loud. So you sitting
Mhm.
there thinking of an idea for your screenplay, and then somebody walks in like, I went on this fucking date last night. Oh my god, this fucking guy, blah blah blah. You're like, oh,
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Got
it.
him. He walked in with this 70-year-old lady, and he was a young black guy with just a mustache, and he said he's got a podcast.
Oh god, it took a second.
70's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much, my brother.
Shit.
I think you're manifesting your joint. I've already gave my threshold. 70 is too much.
What's the scene look like up there right now?
Up here,
Mm-hmm.
it's gloomy. It's cold. I've been out to walk the dog a few times. It's cold. I can
Let
tell
that
you,
scene.
it's oh
Wait,
man.
what's the threshold, EJ?
About 60,
Oh, okay.
60 to 45, 45 to 60.
Yeah, he's got about a 25. He got a 25-year gap maximum.
What
About 15.
about 65? No.
I would have had to been with her before then.
Well,
What if so Angela Bassett is 65? What if she was 65 and like Angela Bassett bad?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Nah,
I mean, hey, the man, hey, you gotta have your standards. So I respect that.
because there's a lot of complications that come with that. You know what I'm saying?
and
Then
have you ever opened up like a orange that looks great on the outside, and then when you get inside, it's all rotten and dry?
well,
65, bro.
listen, it's bigger than that because these people they're
Pause.
likely gonna have adult children anyway. That's already gonna be looking at you like you
That might
trying to
be
come
older
for
than you.
exactly. So the older you get, the more likely that is. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be looking at you like you trying to kill their peoples for insurance money. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you gamed it out.
I've been had this game out. What you mean? I've been about this life.
Before we move on, how do you feel about the Drake and Joe Budden's feud, EJ?
I think Drake took what I can see of Joe's commentary so far, because I don't watch that full episode. I mean, I think Drake is a little sensitive, and I think Drake is just overall tired of Joe Budden's shit. Like, because Joe Buttons is truly a dickhead. Like, he's truly a dickhead. Like, you can truly tell that personality wise, he's truly a dickhead. He's one of those condescending people that will go out their way to try to compliment you when they really want to fucking shit on you. You know what I mean? Like, he's him. He's the boy. I tell people, this Drake, this is him. But you've alluded to so much in the past that you don't fuck with his music. You know what I mean? And it just comes off so disingenuous. And I think people are right about when they say things about him, that you gotta have an acquired taste. People that are around him really just acquiesce to anything he does. I think the only motherfucker that really gives him pushback on that show is Ish. And I think Ish is the more light skinned one, Steve, right?
Yeah, I like Ish a lot.
Yeah, Ish is the only one that's like, you can tell like he's been Joe's friend for years, but you can tell like he be really wanting to fucking smack the shit out of Joe Budden. Like,
But they've also had fallouts. Like they've talked about it that they've had fallouts like for years at a time where they was beefing. So yeah, that's
yeah, I
probably
think
what it is.
I think he's only fucking with him because he's getting a check. Not saying that he needs it, but I mean,
I don't think it's just that. Like I think they're friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I got friends that I don't really fuck with like that. I got friends that I fought. Or friends that I've had stupid beefs with that I haven't talked to for a minute. But if there was a business opportunity and we was cool, I'm still cool with them and
you,
shit.
you
So I
literally
think
just said
they're
what
more
I
like that.
said. You literally just said what I
But you
said.
said,
There's a
but
check
you said he
involved.
there just for the check. I think they're still cool though. Like I
I
think
know
they're still
they're obviously cool and they have history, but I don't think Ish would really be fucking with him consistently, because even with that shit, when he was talking about how Joe smoked hookah with his joint, like, and then they backtracked it. Like, no, Joe at this point in time, people have enough data to analyze that Joe Budden is on some other shit. Only thing I've recently been supportive of what Joe was talking about was when he went on Tax Stone and all this stupid shit with Tax Stone. But and VP, I know you might not be hip with all of these things, but
No, I am.
yeah.
While
Okay.
y'all were talking, I actually read up on it.
Yeah, Joe
So
Joe Budden's just I think Drake got sick of his shit. I
yeah,
honestly do.
I'm reading Drake's response, and god damn, like this shit is like some
A
back
love
to back
letter,
level shit.
a scorn love letter. He's sick of that shit. Like,
I'm just talking about like the level of like like somebody come at you, you might hear like, man, you need to shut the fuck up, fuck that guy,
nah,
something
he
like
put
that. Like
thought
this,
into this shit.
nah.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
he
this
was
dude was
definitely
like,
scorned.
for any like for this part right here, for any artist watching, is just remember, you're watching a failure give their opinion on the recipe for success.
A
A
quitter.
quitter give their opinion on how to have longevity. Like, god damn, duh. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and then
think
he's right.
tell me how you
He's
really
right.
feel, Drake.
He's right, especially when it comes to the slaughterhouse situation and all of that stupid shit that Joe was doing, holding up the slaughterhouse project. And like, like when it comes to rap, I get seriously fucking annoyed with Joe Budden. I do.
I agree with you, EJ, on the point that I feel like Drake just got in his feelings. I also feel like this could potentially what people aren't expecting is this could be a rollout. Like if anybody that listens to the Joe Budden podcast, this guy has no qualms about going out and putting himself on the spot and looking bad and looking dumb, right? What would be any different from him going and making some type of deal with Drake to say, this is exposure, extreme exposure for Drake, who's just dropping an album, even more exposure for Joe Budden because he's getting the expose. Oh, they killed him, they killed him. Well, maybe we need to go listen to his show to see how he's going to respond, right?
Right.
Like, like I could see this being that. But if it is truly what it looks like, what it appears to be on the surface, yeah, I'm with you. I feel like Drake got in his feelings a little too much.
I mean, but I get it though, man. If you're somebody who is just constantly being shitted on, like you're like, especially for an artist like Drake, right? Regardless of what you may personally think about Drake, like the album sales and all these things like that, like it shows this guy's reached a level of success. And I know people feel a certain way about the whole ghostwriting thing and shit like that, right? And so Drake is probably looking at this shit like he didn't say this, or at least in the parts I've read so far. For me to have achieved the level of success that I have, and for a guy who has achieved what Joe Budden has musically to be coming at me talking about the way that I make music, like this shit is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, like for me, you guys know, like politics is more of my wheelhouse. Like imagine a guy who his highest achievement is becoming a city councilman, and he's talking shit about Obama or something. You know what I mean? It's like nigga, like are you serious?
Right.
Oh, we
You
get that
fucking
all the
quitter.
time.
You fucking quitter.
We do get that
That
all the
nigga-
time, though.
Yeah, so I
That
think
nigga-
that's probably, he may have been in his feelings, but it also maybe coming from a place of like, dog, like you're not even on my level, and because you're not on my level, for you, they say in politics, at least they say you don't punch down, right? So and maybe Drake was on that shit. Oh, Budden said whatever, whatever. What I'm letting slide in it. It's like you get fed up to a point where you're like, yo, I'm not standing for this shit no more.
Yeah.
It is because Joe constantly goes out his way to have something to say about Drake, and he tries to mask it, in my opinion, in admiration. Really, he's a fucking hater. Like, I mean, Drake's new album might be what it is, but he's
See,
he's annoying.
and that's the thing to me. I feel like Drake's album, there's some truth to it. It's mid. Like when you listen to it, I expected a lot more, especially for a guy that decided to push his album back. You know what I mean? I get it. You're on tour right now. So if you can't make really good music to your caliber music while on tour, then maybe you should wait until after your tour's over. When I listen to his music, I can see I can see what Joe Budden was trying to say. Should he have said it? Maybe not so much, and not the way he said it. Like he said, stop running around and fucking 25-year-olds, which, like, I mean, they pulled the card on that when he started smashing Sin Santana. She was 23 and he was 39.
Like
So
you was just doing that shit. Like not
yeah, so there's
last
that.
year. You know what I mean? Like he's
But
doing it. Like what are you talking about?
But
but I
And then he
also,
was
mean,
on
Steve,
Diddy's. He's on Diddy's album. Joe was on Diddy's albums nuts. Like, yo, this is it's fire. It's
well, of
great. Diddy's
course,
album was
he works for Diddy.
okay.
Well, he works
but
for
That
Diddy.
shit
but
was
also,
okay.
right, like any of our favorite artists have probably missed one. You probably like, damn, that one wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? And that
Mhm.
kind of shit happens especially in an industry where everything is just subjective, right? You know what I mean? We talk a lot about sports on the podcast. That shit
Mhm.
is just wins or losses. What have you done for me? But in a genre that's totally relying on subjectivity, you know what I mean? You can have one that's a miss.
Absolutely.
And you probably got a guy like Drake who's like, yo, I've been at the top of the game for years now, if not the best, one of the best, for years. Now I just had one that I thought was gonna be awesome. The street's not feeling it. And then I got this nigga who has always been killing me, even when I'm on fire. Now he's coming at me, when I'm at this low point. Like, I'm not standing for this shit, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And they was beefing, so they already had their little beef, their little music beef.
Yep.
Joe and Drake some years ago, but I guess we'll continue to watch it and see how it plays out. I think it's part of a rollout, and if it's not, I think for Joe Budden is smart. Like he's like, whatever, yo, I'll take the Drake smoke. Like I would take Drake smoke today. You know what I'm saying? No matter how big you are, pause. Like you can take the Drake smoke, and it's gonna make you bigger. We just talked about it with NFL and Taylor Swift, right? It's like if Beyonce was to get into it with somebody, no matter who that
Nah,
is,
no, 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 no,
they're
no.
getting bigger.
Absolutely not. Go act. What's the old girl name? Carrie Hilson, I think her name is. That's the one, EJ. Carrie Hilson. Go ask Carrie
Haven't
Hilson how her career is going since she started
haven't
that
seen her
Beyonce shit.
since. Haven't seen
The
her
the the
since.
the Beehive or Bayhive, whatever they call themselves, they don't play that shit, boy. You don't want to cross them bitches. Your ass would be
Yeah,
canceled. Like
yeah,
shit. You don't fuck with Beyonce. She ain't
the behind.
and she ain't even, and that's
You-
the shit. That's the shit that's crazy. Beyonce ain't even gonna respond. It's her people. Like that show, what's it called on Amazon? Swarm or Storm or something like that.
Swarm.
And people are like, "Oh, it's supposed to be about Beyonce." Like her fans thought that shit was supposed to be like about her, and they had to come. No, it's not about Beyonce. No, we love you. No, shit, man.
Yeah, don't come
Them
from
motherfuckers don't play.
The Bayhive or the Navy.
Yeah.
Rihanna's Navy.
Yep. You don't fuck with Beyonce. You don't fuck with Riri.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Even Nicki Minaj's little group, they be getting
Barbs.
at people too.
The Barbs.
Mm-hmm. Shit's crazy. It's crazy how Americans are, yo. Ain't we some dumbasses?
Things are getting out of hand.
Yep, and we'll see what your boy where we started. We'll see what happens with Kelsey. We fuck around and cross Taylor Swift. You might have the Swifties coming out them. I think that's what they call themselves, the Swifties.
Yeah, but he's smart, man. Like Kelsey's smarter. He's 31, I think. He's getting towards the end of his career. He probably has a couple more years to go. All the exposure he can get right now, if he can gain 3 million followers and then start doing, shows. He's got a podcast, right, with his brother. He's a Super Bowl winning guy, so he's already got that, that demo. Man, this guy, he ain't fucking that up. Not fucking. Somebody say he went from Black Lives Matter to Back to Blue.
Oh man,
hilarious! And Colin Kaepernick stopped begging,
bruh.
Go play for the XFL, like the
Rock. But there was a report that came out yesterday that said he has 2 options on the table and he's not accepting them. And if that's absolutely the case, fuck you, dog. Like, get out of here, man. Yeah. Stop trying to play on black people's emotions. You're not even really black. You super too light skinned to be black.
Also, though, but I wonder, Steve, if this is part of it.
You just got black hair.
Like with Cliff Kingsbury when he got fired from the Cardinals. Goddamn. when he got fired from the Cardinals, part of his contract was like if he gets another like head coaching job or whatever, Arizona they don't got to pay out the rest of that contract or whatever. So that's why he was like, I'm just taking this year off just because, fuck it, I'm getting paid anyway. And so I wonder if something like that isn't. I don't even know. I think they might be done paying him at this point. So I'm not sure how much more years were left on that contract. But if there was still money on that contract, I wonder if he were to start playing, does it stop? And maybe that's why he's like in a NFL or nothing, because he wants NFL money versus, wherever this XFL, CFL, wherever these contracts potentially are.
Oh, right. Well, possible. Or it could have to do with his little what he agreed on with the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
If you get another job that's not starting, who knows, right? Who knows what the fucking stipulations are with that. All right, man. What else? You guys got anything else?
No.
I got to go get my my lineups in, get my bets in, prep for the game. So, without further adu, I'll give it to VP to get us out of here.
All right, everybody. We definitely appreciate you guys for rocking with us on this. Lost my train of thought for a second. Goodness gracious. We definitely appreciate you guys for rocking with us on this week's episode of the Castworthy Podcast. For the folks who listen live, we definitely appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday morning. For the folks who will listen once the episode posts, we appreciate you taking that time as well. You guys can find our podcast on any podcasting platform by searching at Castworthy. You also can find us on any of our social media by searching at Castworthy. On Instagram, it's at Castworthy_podcast. While there, you can leave us a like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, tell a friend and tell a friend. Help us grow the audience. We very much appreciate it. Just allow me to say, as we say every week, reach out to your people, make that phone call, check on folks. You never know how people are doing with whatever's happening in the world today. So check in on your folks and see how they're doing. But like I said, with that being said, man, we will see you guys on next week's episode of the Castworthy Podcast. We out. We love you. Peace.